between the news, but we were debating
important things. Well, we weren't debating. Let's just get that straight.
Right, so you were adamant that
the lady doing the rapping in that is Alicia Dixon, who's the judge on X Factor.
I couldn't get me.
Yes, it is. You thought it was Nicole Scherzinger.
I did. She's Pussycat Dolls then. So yeah. But we had to Google it.
No, we didn't have to. That's that's a mistruth. I don't use the word lie on this
you
program
did
because
Google
we're in current
on your phone.
Yes, but to make sure I got the name.
Yes, so
Alicia Dixon correct.
So let's get it right. You did.
Yes,
Google.
but I could still be wrong. That I don't know for sure that that's the lady doing the rapping. I just know Alicia Dixon is the one on the X Factor.
Right. Okay.
So
I didn't think she was, but there you are.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. You learned something.
I actually still don't know. I'm just guessing.
But did you not Google it?
No, I googled who the person was, Lee.
All right. Okay. Let's get to more important matters.
Like the show.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Well, I can't believe where the day's gone. All right. Okay. It is Wednesday. It's the 9 till noon show coming up for you properly after we get a news update now from Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. The out-of-bound lane on the Portbridge Road is now clear. One lane had experienced flooding from the high tide at around 6 a.m. this morning, but is now passable. Brian Cannon, Director of Roads with Donegal County Council, say they are presently working to ensure that the high tides this evening and two tides tomorrow do not have the same impact on the road. Consultation is ongoing with the OPW. Independent councillor Tom Conahan is calling for a survey to be carried out on streetlights in Donegal town. He says repairs need to be done with multiple lights failing to turn on at all, while others are operating 24 hours at a time. He raised safety concerns for pedestrians as a result.
I would feel that need to be a survey done in the town in general and the surrounding areas because of the fact that you could have 4 lights out in one place and you could have a few of the lights on 24/7. With so many people out walking and jogging, and we take it maybe from the bypass and then you go on out to local garage on the Killybegs Road. There's a lot of lights missing there, and it's a very popular footpath to be walking or jogging on.
Sinn Féin's warning the government that it is driving the homelessness crisis to a level nobody ever thought was possible. It came during the Dáil debate on a Sinn Féin motion which seeks to extend the eviction ban, which will be voted on this afternoon. The government is on course to win the vote after the regional group of independent TDs agreed to support it. South Donegal Deputy Marion Harkin has questioned where the people are going to go if the eviction ban ends. There are just 57 available rental properties in Donegal and little or no emergency accommodation available. She believes planning permission relief would be hugely beneficial.
Minister, if public authorities and local authorities could refurbish derelict buildings, empty buildings, and install modular homes for the next 15 months without having to seek planning permission, I could see that significant numbers of homes might well come on stream. And that's what's important, because that's really what matters. And that would mean more and more homes would be available.
And now to the weather this morning. Breezy with sunny spells and scattered showers. By afternoon, the showers will become frequent, merging to longer spells of rain at times. Top temperatures of 9 to 11 degrees and fresh and gusty south to southwest winds. That's all for now. We'll be back again with the news in full at 10 o'clock. And until then, good morning.
Yeah, we're good mates, yeah. Look, I'm always there for him, 100%, through thick and thin. And sure, he likes having me around. Anytime he's going out, I'll get the shout, you know. And someday, I'll probably kill him.
Smoking isn't the friend you think it is. Quit for 28 days and start taking back control. Find out how at quit.ie or free phone 1800 201 203 from the HSE.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello, good morning to you. It's just turned 4 minutes past 9 on this Wednesday, the 22nd of March. How are you keeping? I do hope you're very well this morning. It's bright looking out the window here, but the clouds are pregnant with rain. You can see there's going to be some downpour, some talk of some lightning too. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't affect any electricity supplies out there or stays well away from us. We've another one for you. It's a busy one. 086 60 25,000. We want you involved in the conversation. That's how you WhatsApp. That's how you text the show. If you want to give us a call too, 07491 25,000. Caroline and Anya taking your calls there. Your email's more than welcome to comments@highlandradio.com, and hop on board if you want to watch the show on our website, highlandradio.com. Click Watch Live, or go to YouTube on your smart TV, your Fire Stick, your tablet, your laptop. Search Highland Radio Ireland, and you can see most of our guests and much of what we talk about there. Same across our Facebook pages. No excuses not to get involved. Good morning to Anita, already joining us on Facebook. Hi, Anita. She is in the Cayman Islands all the time now, it seems. I hope the weather's lovely for you, Anita. Let's look at the newspapers this morning. The Finn Valley Voice. Donegal Library celebrated World Down Syndrome Day yesterday, March 21st, with a special See Me window display in the Twin Towns Library. Finn Valley native Eva McConnell can be seen in the display using the See and Learn Numicron resources that are available for free throughout all Donegal libraries. Of course, we had Gina and Christopher making his radio debut, and what a superstar he is. We had the two of them in. There was some concern as to whether or not a cake had been made available for the day in question. Christopher had become accustomed to having a cake. Gina seemingly was not going to get one, or hadn't got a chance to get one because she's up to her ears. Well, we got an update anyway. I can tell you there was a delicious chocolate cake in the house yesterday evening. So if you didn't sleep last night wondering if or not if there would be a cake in the Grant household, I can reliably inform you that there was, and all's well that ends well. It was lovely having them on, and you can watch that back on my social medias if you wish, or on our website, or our social medias, I should say. Right, on to the Inish Times. The micro-action groups demanding that newly published research that has found that the mineral pyrrhotite and not mica is the cause of the defective blocks crisis in the county be factored into the remediation solutions for affected homes. The campaign group is writing to the Minister for Housing, Darragh O'Brien, government officials, Engineers Ireland and all Oireachtas members, demanding that research published last week in the leading international journal Cement and Concrete Research be taken seriously. The Mica Action Group's Lisa Home is urging the government not to dismiss the research. And how could anyone dismiss it when it's so fulsome and peer-reviewed as well? So hopefully her calls are listened to. The Donegal Post. Donegal Town, famed for its yearly Christmas lights display over many years, is certainly not having the same success when it came to public street lighting. Councillors heard at the Donegal Municipal District March meeting of Donegal County Council. The matter was raised by locally based Councillor Tom Conahan, who asked that a complete and comprehensive review of all lights in the town take place. He suggested that lights had not been checked or repaired for a number of weeks in some areas, and he gave an example of the lights out the Killybegs Road not being on for over 2 weeks. And of course, I think Councillor Conahan's already called for the provision of CCTV for the town in the past. So between those two things, you can imagine they should be supplied, shouldn't they? On to the Irish Times this morning. And the coalition is confident it will win a Dáil vote on the eviction ban, but could see its working majority tighten as some independent TDs look set to desert it over the controversial decision to allow the moratorium to expire. Government sources believe they will win the vote brought about by a Sinn Féin motion seeking to extend the eviction ban into 2024 by a margin of up to 6 votes. This is lower than the comfortable margins the government had when it won confidence votes last year, though such high-stakes votes tend to attract more support for the coalition from the ranks of independents. The government razor-thin majority is set to fall to just 1, with Green Party TD Nessa Horgan intending to vote with the opposition this evening, a move that will likely see her lose the party whip again. So do we know how everyone is voting in this area? Obviously, Sinn Féin are voting with Sinn Féin. Thomas Pringle is voting with Sinn Féin, I believe. I imagine, well, I mean, I imagine it's a given. Minister Charlie McConalogue will vote with his government. Joe McHugh, he's outside government, outside his party at the moment. Which way will he vote? Perhaps worth getting a word from he or his spokespeople to find out what the situation is because it is a critical vote. He's outside the party, and this is a significant housing issue. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get update from him. Mark McSharry, of course, will have an interest in what way he would vote as well. So we'll try and find that out as the morning progresses for you. It'll lose its official majority outright if she is joined in her rebellion by party colleague Patrick Costello. He suggested within the last fortnight that the eviction ban should continue and did not offer a comment on his voting intentions when contacted yesterday. They think it's going to get through. It's still pretty tight. The government has listened to 8 independents, and a series of their amendments. They're going to take them on board, and that's how they're going to try and secure victory in that vote. Well, it's not really in that vote because it's a counter motion that they'll put forward, and that's the one I think that's actually voted on in the end. The Irish Independent this morning, Taoiseach Leo Varadkar has said biological males should not be put into women's prisons if they're found to have broken the law. Mr Varadkar said the law may need to be changed to ensure female prisoners were protected. Now, this kind of puts Leo Varadkar, I presume, in a sticky wicket, so to speak, in his opinion in this regard, because I suppose if you support the trans community and the issues affecting it, then you have to accept that if do you not, that a biological male, someone born biological male who wishes to transition to female is female. But then at the same time, he seems to be saying that goes out the window if they break the law, because then it's the biological sex that's referenced, and then they go into a men's prison, which is, as I say, I'm just quite confused as to his actual stance in that regard. Well, the Taoiseach's comments come as he was asked for his views on the sentencing of Bobby Kardashian, who was born a man under a different name, who was imprisoned for 5.5 years for threatening to torture, rape and murder her mother. I know that a similar situation arose in Scotland, and it was necessary there to change the law to make sure that women were protected, the Fine Gael leader said. Kardashian, 21, who was jailed last week, changed her name by deed poll and was granted a gender recognition cert by the Department of Social Protection in 2020. The Taoiseach said yesterday he only heard of this case for the first time in the Sunday papers and did not wish to comment on it in detail without being briefed. I actually don't know anything about the case yet, he said. I first saw it reported on the weekend and I need to look into it and talk to Minister Harris about it. When asked whether he believes biological males should be put into women's prisons, he said, no, I don't. Quite frankly, if a situation that arose in Scotland has now arisen in Ireland, well, then we're going to have to deal with it in a similar way. Now, there are distinct differences between those two cases, which I would expect Leo Varadkar to be across. I believe the change in gender in Scotland was really quite recent, if you know what I mean. But obviously, in this case in Ireland, some time has passed. But as I say, it's hard to pick out now where he stands on certain issues. On to the Irish Daily Mail now, and RTE may have plans for a woman to front the Late Late Show, but it won't be Miriam O'Callaghan. The presenter has ruled herself out of replacing Ryan Tubridy, despite being the bookies' initial favourite, saying she didn't want the job 14 years ago and she doesn't want it now. In a lengthy post on social media yesterday, Miss O'Callaghan wrote, "The Late Late Show is an incredible programme. It's not just the jewel in the crown of Irish broadcasting, it's also an institution stitched into the fabric of Irish life. Ryan has done a superb job presenting it for the past 14 years. Now, I get where she's coming from, but there definitely must be a Montrose bubble, because I heard Dee Forbes talking about Ryan Tubridy in this show before, and of course it's a TV show, right? It comes on a Friday night and people watch it. Some do, some don't. But it all being stitched into the fabric and all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's just the type of language I don't use, but it all seems a little bit OTT. It's a TV show. That's what it is. I mean, obviously, when Gay Byrne was at the helm, it was pivotal and in raising issues, changing people's minds, opening debate. Yes. Is it that anymore? No, I don't think so. It's really just interviewing other RTE employees, the occasional C-celeb Hollywood star, and the toy show. Is there much more to it? I don't know if it is a jewel in the crown of broadcasting stitched into the fabric of Ireland. But anyway, for what it's worth, I don't believe anyone can succeed in replacing Ryan Tubridy. I think he's left at a good time. I think he's left when there are declining ratings, and I don't see how anyone can come in, bar one person who I'll get to, that could have any chance of success, because, as I say, already people are watching other things. It's hugely popular, of course, but there's an awful lot of people that don't watch it as well. And I think you've got people that passionately don't watch it. So I think whoever goes in is going to get absolutely blasted on social media, can they take that? Secondly, if they do appoint a woman, they are going to get it's going to be put across as if that they only got the job because they're a woman. So that's not a really good way to begin your career in that seat to try and win people over. If there's anyone that is not a white heterosexual male, they may suffer the same. That people that will think that decision is made for woke reasons, in inverted commas, they're going to get an absolute lashing for it, and they're going to be doomed from the get-go. And also, the only person I believe that really has the clout and the reputation and perhaps the broad appeal would be Tommy Tiernan. And would he want it? Maybe he's happy to plough his own track on a Saturday evening. But anyone else, I can't see how anyone else can go in there and not fail. But what do you think? 086 60 25,000 WhatsApps and text, or call 07491 25,000. Irish Defence Forces Chief Sean Clancy wants to tackle the cultural issues that have led to incidents of sexual harassment. The Chief of Staff faced the Oireachtas Committee on Defence yesterday. He was grilled on issues in the Army such as recruitment, retention and housing. And Senator Tom Clonan took the military leader to task on the matter of sexual abuse, saying the Army was not a safe place for women. And we've heard from women who have or are serving in the Army and their experiences. And that's off the back of and part of a shocking documentary last year highlighting the claims of the Women of Honour group, who have made a series of allegations about horrifying sexual attacks and rape in the Defence Forces. But he says it's something that he wants to address, something he wants to look at. And just a wee word of warning, not to instill any fear, but just a bit of knowledge out there, that the HSE has issued a warning amid a huge surge in outbreaks of the winter vomiting bug that cases may continue to rise. This is in the Irish Daily Star. A total of 394 cases of norovirus have been recorded in Ireland in the first 10 weeks of this year. So let's just put that into perspective. The population of over 5 million in the 26 counties. That's 394 cases since the start of the year. But it is almost 4 times the number for the same period in 2022. So it can't be ignored either. The virus is easily spread between people and causes sudden onset of vomiting and diarrhea, and at the same time sometimes. Young children and elderly people have been most affected, with half of cases aged over 65 years and 28% under 5. So as I say, just to keep an eye out and to make sure that you drink plenty of fluids and get medical assistance if required. In that regard, call your GP or what have you. And finally, it's good to see Ed Sheeran speaking out, showing a bit of leadership. He's in most of the papers today saying that he had suicidal thoughts as he plunged into his darkest moments last year after the death of a close friend. The 32-year-old singer was mourning the loss of music entrepreneur Jamal Edwards, who suffered heart problems after taking cocaine. Ed vowed never to touch drugs again out of respect for his tragic best pal. And he's also a father, or he's going to be a father as well. It came around the same time wife Sherry was diagnosed with a tumour. Consumed by despair, he sank into a deep depression. In his most emotional interview ever, the star says, "I felt like I didn't want to live anymore." And he also said that he was taking drugs on occasions 2 times a day, and he's not doing it anymore. There's a guy with the world at his feet, more money than he can ever spend, more fans than he could ever want, selling out concerts all over the place, couldn't resist the drugs, and potentially could have lost it all. So if drugs don't help someone like him, certainly people need to stay off them, because it's not going to help them. Find something else to occupy yourself or entertain yourself or whatever it might be. All right, 086 60 25,000. Back with more shortly.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Green Shoes at Market Square, Letterkenny are proud to announce that they're now stocking Riker footwear. Riker blend fashionable styles with incredible comfort, striking the perfect balance between fashion and practicality. All Riker shoes are made using unique anti-stress and anti-shock technology to provide the essential support and comfort the brand is known for. Try any of the new season Riker shoes now at Green Shoes, Market Square, Letterkenny.
Are you tired of waiting for treatment or surgery? Did you know you can receive immediate treatment across the border under the new NI planned healthcare scheme at potentially no cost? Donegal patients are still being treated with us at Kingsbridge Private Hospital Northwest post-Brexit. The process is easy and our dedicated team will help guide you through it. So why wait? Contact us today to find out how you can skip the waiting lists and receive treatment in Northern Ireland. Visit kingsbridgeprivatehospital.com, because life matters.
When you need help with natural gas or LPG appliances or pipes, don't take any chances. Stay safe and always use a registered gas installer for installation, servicing, repair or removal. Otherwise, you're putting yourself and others at risk and breaking the law. Find a registered gas installer at rgi.ie.
Don't miss the Clanry Hotel's Country Weekend, Friday 24th to Sunday 26th of March, featuring Jimmy Buckley, Robert Mazzell, Kieran Rosney, Eamon Jackson, Olivia Douglas, Brian Kerrigan and Mick Flavin. Pay at the door, €20 Friday and Saturday and €10 on Sunday afternoon. Overnight packages available. Call the Clanry Hotel on 9124369.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
The time is 20 minutes past 9. Now, we've been covering this since news was announced that a number of school projects are being, mothballed, frozen. Amongst them is one that is just literally ready to go. And that is Gaelscoil na Catha Maestra in Donegal Town. Its chairman is Coleman McCool. He joins us now. Good morning, Coleman. Sorry, did I say chairman? I beg your pardon. Principal. Good morning, Coleman. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm okay. Right, now, give us the history of this school. Over 2 decades in effectively temporary accommodation. I don't think that's a wrong way to describe it, prefabs and what have you. But on the brink of getting a fantastic new building and then having the rug pulled under you with this news in the last couple of weeks. Give us the history of the school and what was proposed for it, if you don't mind, Coleman.
Yeah, well, the history starts back in 1999 when the Gaelscoil was started here. It's 24 years ago, and we have been through a few times with the government that it went to planning 2010, but then with the economic crash and everything, it fell through then again. But in 2016, we were put on the list again, and since 2016, it's been a long and arduous process. We've been through the planning, the tender and the contractor, so it's taken 6-7 years to get to this process, to get to this stage of it, where the contractor was ready to go. The contractor was basically ready to start there a few weeks ago, and then we got this letter from the government to tell us in a few lines that the whole project has been put on hold. And since then, we have had no correspondence with any government or anyone at all from the government, any representative there, and they've told us nothing. How long is the hold? How they've said that it's only a short term, but we're in limbo at the minute again.
Right, okay. So, and we'll talk about the deadline that's upcoming. Part of the reason was an increase for all of these schools being delayed was an increase in costs, right? So was that a problem on this project? In other words, was the contractor wobbling because of the increased costs of providing this building? Is that the problem with this project?
No, the contractor was ready to start on the site. Everything was, as they would say, that we were waiting for the diggers to come. We were told the contractor he's basically on his way here. And that's where the stage we were at. And as far as we knew, everything was going normal, and that the contractor, he was just ready to start any day soon. And then we got that letter last week from the department, and just the whole school community was bitterly disappointed and shocked. After a long and arduous process, we were just left, just the rug's been pulled out of under the Gaelscoil for the second or third time now again.
Now, what is the status of this project in terms of any delays to it? What is the potential impact of a delay?
Well, another delay here. If there's only so many days left in the contract that the contractor signed, so that could go back to tender again, and that could start another process again. They're only just, any delay at all at this stage it's not good now for us.
And is there any fear of the project planning or the contract or anything like that expiring? I saw some posts suggesting that there's 48 hours left on the tender before the contractor can revisit the price. Do you see that timeline yourself as well?
Yes. We had a meeting there last night with all the parents, and the very strong and vibrant parent community in the school, and we're told that there's two days left in the contract that the contractor signed. So if that, any delay there is going to, down the line, it's going to be, it's not good, it doesn't look good for us.
Yeah, and the concern is
that means that the whole process might have to start all over again.
And that is just a journey no one wants to undertake. To start that whole process again, out to tender again, where would you be in the queue? To be on the brink of a new building, and we're looking at an image here of what parents and send their children into, what teachers have to work in. It is effectively temporary accommodation. They are prefabs. Now, they are of a decent size and construct, I'm sure, but this is not the future here. Right.
It's not.
Like we've heard former Education Minister Joe McHugh in this programme saying, look, this project is one in particular that needs to go ahead. Are you getting anything from the Department of Education that gives you any hope at this stage? We're contacting, by the way, I should say, Noel Mafoley's office here as well, personally, to try and help. But are you getting anything to suggest that maybe this is being considered in the next 48 hours?
No, we have got no correspondence whatsoever from any department. And we have sent umpteen letters and emails to each department to clarify things, but nobody has come back with any kind of answers that would solve this for us.
And go ahead.
We've sent numerous invitations to Norma Foley, to herself, to her office, to her constituency, to tell her to just to invite her to the school and just to see for herself the conditions, that teachers and the whole school staff and community have to put up with in this 2023, where most schools have a permanent structure. We're all in prefabs for the last 24 years.
And do you know what? This conversation we could be having using the exact same words, Coleman, if you were starting the process of trying to campaign for a new school. What's heartbreaking is we were on the brink. The builders were waiting for the commencements letter. They'd paid their €15,000 bond. There's no massive cost overruns here. This is not about the general state of the capital budget for the Department of Education and what the Department of Finance might say. This is just ready to go here, and all of this progress could be severely hindered if the right decision is not made in the next 2 days.
Yes, it's going to cost them a lot of money in the long run. All the money that's been spent so far, and if the process has to start all over again, it's just throwing money, on top of more money and just costing more money for the government, that they just only see it like it's just so wasteful and to even delay it at this stage.
Okay. Well, Coleman, listen, thanks for your time. Fair play to you. The parents are very lucky to have you, I think, as headmaster there, or as principal there, sorry, should I say.
Just to say, Greg, we're very we're very grateful to have the kind of parents we have. They're a very vibrant and active parent association in the school, and this whole school community. They're very active in everything that goes on in the school, and we're delighted and we're so lucky to have them also. I wish them all the best and keep fighting. We'll get there eventually.
All right, good man. Thank you very much indeed, Coleman McCool there. One of those parents and a principal, and on the Parents Association of Gaelscoil na Cathain Maestra in Donegal Town is Deirdre. Deirdre, I mean, we are at desperate straits now at this point, aren't we, in terms of timing? And it's just so frustrating because the contractor's literally ready to go. This letter comes out of the blue. Maybe this policy might apply to other school builds. It certainly doesn't seem, in terms of cost overruns and uplifts and all that, this is a project that was ready to go and relatively close to budget.
Yeah, that's correct, Greg. We are just devastated. We're saddened. We're angry. And at this stage, we're just getting so tired. This has been going on for so long. And to be at this stage where all we're looking for is for the letter of commencement to be sent to the builder. It's just so devastating. Like, I'm a parent with the school this last 12 years. And when I first started, went through those gates to bring my child to the Neenra, which is on the grounds of the school, we were showing around the school that day, and on the walls that day was the plans for a new school. Now, that was back in 2012. And I am still in that school, and here we are, and we still do not have a building.
But so close to it, that's the problem, Deirdre, so bloody close.
Yeah. Like, as a parent, all we want for our children is to have a school building like everybody else. We want an assembly hall that our kids can play in. Our kids are playing outside in the rain because they don't have an assembly hall. Like, for example, if they want to partake in the drama, which we were partaking in last week down in Gweedore, the Féile Scoil Dramaíochta, we have to go to the local community centre for them to practice, which we have to pay for. We have to pay for the buses to take them to this community centre. Like, this should all be on our school grounds. We shouldn't have to fight for it.
No, but you shouldn't have to fight for it. But you have been fighting for it, Deirdre, and
we have, yeah.
And that fight, it felt like that fight had been won. That's the problem.
Yes,
and now
we had
at the 11th
thought
hour,
it had been won. Yeah, and all we are waiting for is this letter of commencement to be sent to our builder. Everything is ready to go. He has the materials all organised, ready to go. His staff is ready to go, and yet here we are. And it's looking like it could have to go back to tender, which will set us back a minimum of 8 months if that happens.
And that's providing the government comes up with a plan as it relates to, funding these projects.
And then also, there will be extra costs if that has to go back to tender. So really, the government is costing themselves more money.
And that's if you can get a contractor who can do it at that time as well. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of variables here. This could be 8 months would be absolute best case scenario. Exactly,
yeah. Whereas in 8 months, if we get the digger in, which we're ready to go, our school could be half built. And it could be nearly ready to go in a year and a half's time to move into.
The class of 2025 could be kicking off. They're in this new building. Yeah, okay. So what next? I mean, obviously, we've spoken to the former Minister Joe McHugh on this issue on a couple of occasions on this programme. He said he's making representations that are, obviously all of the projects being stalled is bad, right? But this is one that there's no really, this could be decoupled from that decision, I think. I think that's fair enough, Deirdre, couldn't it? It could. It's not the same as a building that is, a little bit further back in terms of the planning process and all that. There's a very tight deadline here, another couple of days. This is one that could be decoupled from that decision. But we haven't heard anything back from him since in terms of his representations to the Education Minister.
We have had no correspondence at all. Our builder hasn't even been told that it's been stalled. So we just don't know where we are. We really don't. And bearing in mind, a lot of those 58 schools are extensions to schools. We have no building. We're 100% in prefabs that are 24 years old. And when we got those prefabs, they were second-hand. They weren't even brand new back then.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at an image.
It was our community who paid for those.
Yeah, I'm looking at an image of them here. Those are the classrooms as such, but I mean, that's what it appears like. As you say, there's no hall, there's no indoor play area, I presume. in terms of weather? If you get all the school together
nothing
for an assembly, or where you could put on a play, or I'm sure the teachers try their best with what they have, but this is, what is it, 5-6 prefabs? That's what it is. That's the school.
Yeah. And if we want to perform like the Christmas plays, we have to leave the school grounds. We have to go into the parish hall, or we have to rent a room in a hotel, so our kids can perform for us, which is not right. Like,
all right, what was the mood at the meeting last night like?
The parents are very supportive, but we are getting angry. We want an answer. We want to know why it's been stalled. We're just, at this stage, we're begging for this to commence. There is no reason why it shouldn't commence.
And at the very least, we're all owed an explanation. But
exactly.
That's not going to get a new school build. We need the letter of commencement issued to the builder who's ready to go and get this project
underway. Taken into account all the inflation costs. So there's no issue there. We just need this letter of commencement.
Again, which makes us wonder, why is this grouped in with the other schools that are maybe at a different stage? This is ready to go. It's costed. It's budgeted. The builder's ready to start the digger literally and get in. They just need this letter.
Yes, that's correct.
And just to recap, what expires in the next couple of days then that could defer this for a minimum of 8 months?
So when you receive the tender, you have 180 days to start the build.
Mm-hmm.
And we are at the very end of that. So in 2 days' time, that tender is up. So the builder can refuse to do it for the cost that he costed it for, and therefore it could go back to tender.
Right, and we don't know where it would go in a queue or what might happen next. Okay, right.
Exactly.
Deirdre, listen, thanks for helping us get the story out there. And we're trying to at least get an explanation from the Department of Education. We're back onto Joe McHugh's office to see if he's made any progress in his representations. But the time is short, so we're working hard on it behind the scenes ourselves for what good that might do. But look, if we don't try, you never know, Deirdre. Thanks for your time this morning.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Greg.
No problem, and thanks to Coleman as well. A caller says it's discrimination against Irish-speaking schools. Is it? No, because there's a whole host of them. In fact, I think some of the groups that are most affected would be the likes of across the country would be Educate Together. There's all different types of schools. It's not anything to do with any backgrounds or anything, as far as I can determine, okay? Why are we stalling or contemplating stalling schools and pumping money into regeneration? That is good, but not as urgent or a priority. Different funding, but priority should be paramount, like education. The decision needs a bit of subtlety. Maybe there is an argument to defer or delay some other projects. There is no argument to delay or defer Gaelscoil na Cathamaistre and the new building that is proposed for it. A caller says the planning for building, especially public buildings in this country, is simply not fit for purpose. Just look at Children's Hospital, Moville Community College, contracted due to go on site on January 16th. Then the department need a technical assessment of parts of the construction in planning since 2015. Disgraceful, they say. The story is one that many Gaelscoils face. Buncrana Gaelscoil is in a makeshift temporary building awaiting the 3-school campus, but has been delayed and delayed. And many of us locals have heard the plan is dead in the water. And we've covered that story extensively on this programme. I think the last update was that maybe the projects need to be decoupled rather than it being a 3-school campus for some of that, some elements of that to plough on their own. Another very frustrating situation. One, as I say, we've covered extensively. The difference is we've 2 days for a letter of commencement to go to a contractor so that this school, which is ready to go, it's ready to go. No worries about inflation in that regard. It's ready to go if the department issue that letter. It'd cost them nothing. But if they don't, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of euro, you can be sure, if they don't heed these warnings from parents.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Hello, thanks for waiting. Could you hold the line?
Yeah, no problem.
Now, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm looking to make some updates to my insurance policy.
Have you tried our online portal?
I thought it would be easier to call.
Yeah. No. You're going to have to log on to amend your policy. Thanks for calling.
No, wait. I don't know my Password.
Get the feeling that your insurer doesn't want to talk to you? At Local Insurance, we understand your needs. Call today for a bespoke quote or find us online at localinsurance.ie. Local Insurance, we'll get you sorted. The Local Insurance Network DAC Trading's Local Insurance is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Local Insurance is a tied insurance intermediary of Acorn Brokerage Limited. Acorn Brokerage Limited, trading as Acorn Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The Sign Place, Callahan's-Burt have a job opportunity for a full-time graphic designer. Working Monday to Friday, the graphic designer will work as an integral part of our team, assisting with the design, manufacturing and production of graphics and signage projects. At the Sign Place, Callahan's-Burt, we specialise in the production of internal and external signage, as well as vehicle graphics, advertising material, banners and logos. Experience preferred. Please send CVs to info@thesignplace.ie.
GiveBlood.ie know we can count on you, our community of blood donors, to give blood and to choose to be there for others in their hour of need. Blood donors from Ballyshannon should attend the clinic in Colostra Columkill in Ballyshannon on Monday 20th of March, and donors from Donegal Town, Killybegs and Dunlow should attend the clinic in the Abbey Hotel in Donegal Town from Tuesday 21st to Thursday 23rd. Making an appointment is recommended, so call 1-800-731-137 to book your time. Visit giveblood.ie to see eligibility and clinic details.
Good evening, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has finally come. Highland Radio's long-awaited concert featuring Daniel O'Donnell and special guests will take place on Tuesday the 28th of March in the Mount Erigal Hotel, Letterkenny. All you need is your previously issued ticket or a copy of your online booking confirmation for entry. Doors will open at 7 p.m. on the night, and we're so looking forward to seeing you there. Please contact Highland Radio with any inquiries on 074 91 25,000.
Okay, so let's get more information now on the warning that norovirus, or the vomiting bug, cases being on the rise in Ireland. Dr. Anthony Breslin's consultant in public health with the HSE. He joins us now. Anthony, good morning to you. Thanks for taking the call.
Good morning, sir.
Right, so talk to us a little bit about norovirus, what it is and how it affects people.
Okay, norovirus is, as its name says, a virus, and people become infected with it very easily through personal contact with other people who have it. And then they get vomiting and diarrhea, which lasts for maybe 3 to 4 days. And the vast majority of people, it's described an uncomfortable situation. But particularly in the elderly and the very young, because they're vomiting and have diarrhea, they lose a lot of fluids, and that can be very serious for them. If someone has it in the household, it's very easy to spread around the household. So if you do have it, sort of try and isolate yourself. Get everybody in the house to practice very good hygiene, washing hands, cleaning up in the bathroom afterwards, separate towel for the person who has the virus, and then don't let them do any food prep, things like that. And as I said, it does spread easily, particularly of concern in institutional settings like nursing homes, community hospitals and hospitals themselves, because obviously you have a very vulnerable group of people living very close together, and it can spread there. And while people are very used now to using the alcohol gels to clean their hands, the alcohol gel doesn't do anything to the norovirus. It's good old soap and water. Is required.
Now, in terms of out in the general community, and then maybe we might talk about certain settings, if there is an onset of it, particularly in the groups you talk of, the under 5s and over 65s, what can you or should you do at home, and at what point then should you seek medical attention?
Okay, good question. First of all, obviously, try and make sure it doesn't spread to anybody else in the house, because you need to be there to support those people. Make sure that they can take some fluids, even if it's just sipping. If they become very dehydrated or stop drinking, that's when you need to speak to your GP about medical assessment because the very young, the very old can get very dehydrated very quickly.
And what are the signs of dehydration? Because you could have a situation where somebody's consuming liquids, but maybe instantly vomiting. What are the signs of dehydration?
Then? Usually in children, they become lethargic, they become sleepy, very inattentive. In the elderly, then something similar, but also their skin becomes, if you sort of pinch their skin, it loses its elasticity. It's very sort of dull. If you sort of pinch the skin, it stays pinched, whereas normal skin elasticity it goes back to its normal shape. And again, they become listless and tired and sleepy.
Right. Is there anything, like sometimes there's little sachets you can get, right, that I think that aid hydration? Are they any use? Is it good to have them in the house?
Yes. They'd be things like Diurolite. I'm not afraid to mention it. Yes, they can, because they obviously have the fluid, and they also have a little bit of sugar and minerals in them, just to make sure the person does have some energy if they can take some food. They are very, very useful. And then the other thing, for if anybody can remember sort of the good old flat sparkling drink that has a number in the first in its name.
Do you not remember it, or are you afraid to say it?
I don't know when I get into trouble if I say it.
No, just say it. If it's not a problem for us, if it's not a problem for you.
Something like 7-Up, flat 7-Up. Now,
I get you.
Not the no sugar, not like the no sugar, sugar-free, the ordinary one. And so a drink like that, provided it's flat.
Okay.
And diluted a bit. Dilute about 50% of the water and 50% the rest of
no
the drink.
problem. And I thought you were still worried about the feelings of Manchester United fans there. I didn't know where you were going, but anyway.
Oh, now please. No.
Okay.
I wasn't going near there.
Right. So that's a good old tradition. As you say, then what you should watch out for then is dehydration. That can come on really quick. I've seen it myself.
It can, particularly in young children.
Yeah. And it's just general care. There's some advice then. Obviously, frequent hand washing, thoroughly cleaning and disinfecting services, as you mentioned.
Yes.
In terms of clothing, bed linen, things like that, is there?
Just
did you mention that?
Normal laundry.
Okay.
Normal laundry will take care of that.
And obviously, you want any of the product of this vomit or feces down the toilet, really, of course, as well, because that is going to be a contaminant. Right. Okay. So that's what we can do in the general population. Is this? We have seen more cases this year than last year. Can we talk about peaks and troughs, or is this just is this going to pass through the population relatively quickly? Do you think, or what's the story, Anthony?
Usually, when it comes, it lasts. We get a sort of it lasts about 6 or 7 weeks. Because it comes in, it affects people in big numbers, and it sort of goes away. Now, it's always there in the background, but just you do get occasions where you do get an upsurge in it. So we'll probably see something happening over the next 6 to 7 weeks.
Now, obviously, the places like nursing homes and hospitals, okay, they will be putting all the prevention in that they can. They'll also be aware that it's quite possible that it might get in despite their best efforts.
Yes.
It's a tough job for them dealing with multiple patients, protecting those that haven't been infected, and obviously worry then for those loved ones outside of the likes of a nursing home. But as I say, they have strong measures in place to try and as best as possible to avoid it.
Yes, but you bring me to remind me of a good point. If you're sick, don't go near a nursing home or the hospital yourself.
Okay.
And if the kids are sick, don't go near it. And if you're being very tough about it, you could say if it's in the household at all, you don't go near the nursing home or the hospital unless you have to.
Yeah, I think that's solid advice, and it's common sense. But sometimes, in a heat of a moment, we might let that slip.
Indeed.
So, and just one other question: silly questions, but I'm trying to put not silly, but maybe. I often wonder, after a child, or it could be an older person, or any of us have consumed water, right? And then if you vomit 5 minutes later, have you got the benefit of that water? Do you know what I mean? How long does it take for something like water you consume for you to get a benefit of it before?
If you vomited it fairly quickly, you haven't got the benefit of it.
Okay, right, okay. So you need your stomach to be absorbing it, or other organs to be absorbing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, okay, Anthony, I think that's a good advice. I mean, compared to the population, the numbers are quite low, so it's not to put the fear of God into people. It's just to
no. We're just trying to protect people, because we don't want people getting sick. We don't want school disrupted. We don't want people to miss work, etc., etc.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? Are you happy enough there, Anthony?
Just the old bugbear of mine. Get vaccinated if you haven't been vaccinated, particularly children, particularly the MMR vaccine, because obviously that sort of was disrupted during COVID, and people maybe haven't got back on stream yet, as it were. And we want people who should have been vaccinated to get vaccinated, and also make sure that it's still not too late to get the flu vaccine, as it were.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind as well.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony. I really do appreciate it. Dr. Anthony Breslin, consultant in public health with the HSE.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Join me, Marty Friel, this and every Friday night from 8 for Rockin' Hits on Highland Radio in association with Arena 7 Letterkenny, the best family entertainment complex around, with bowling, laser quest, soft play centre and more. Visit arena7.ie.
Ready for a change or upgrade? Think Seat. With our wide range of award-winning Seat SUV, including the bold crossover Arona, the family favourite Ateca, or the spacious 7-seater Tarraco. All vehicles come with great offers on finance and PCP options. Book a test drive today by calling DMG Motors on 074 9721 396 or visit dmgmotors.ie. Choose your new 231 Seat with confidence with a visit to DMG Motors, Clare Road, Donegal Town.
Foilside, at the centre of more for your euro, with great value gifts. So it's worth making the journey wherever you live. With convenient parking, late nights and all your favourite brands, you're better off shopping at Foilside. See foilside.co.uk.
At On Post, we believe in giving you more power over how you bank. That's why AIB and Bank of Ireland customers can now lodge and withdraw money at any of our 900 post offices across Ireland 6 days a week. That's right, your bank is in your post office for personal and business banking alike, meaning you can bank wherever you live or work. Visit your local post office or onpost.com/everydaybanking. On Post, your money for your world. Allied Irish Banks plc and Bank of Ireland are regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Highland Radio weather updates with Ireland West Airport. Fancy a European city break this summer? Discover the beautiful cities of Barcelona, Cologne and Milan with Ryanair. 6 flights a week for summer 2023. Ireland West Airport. Don't just take off, take it easy.
Okay, so let's have a look at that weather forecast then. Breezy this morning with sunny spells and scattered showers. By afternoon, the showers will become frequent, merging to longer spells of rain at times. Some of the showers will be heavy with hail and lightning possible. Temperatures 9 to 11 degrees. Later on, by the way, at the bottom half of 10:30, I don't know why I'm trying to use different words. At 10:30, we have a choir in studio. That's going to be exciting. If you want to watch that too, of course, get onto our YouTube, Facebook or website. Okay, we were talking to Chelsea yesterday, defrauded out of €13,000. An awful hit. She's getting no satisfaction with Revolut. AIB say it's not our problem. You know yourself, as I said yesterday, how hard you have to work to earn 13,000 after tax and all that. But Joan joins us on the programme now. Joan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Me.
No, it's our pleasure.
You're welcome.
Now, you are coming on to help us warn people of another fraud that's out there. Talk to me about it.
Yes. This is with Revolut also. I'm Joan Sinclair. I'm in the UK. I saw an ad with Martin Lewis, and knowing, Martin Lewis gives lovely advice and so on, and I got excited about this ad and I clicked on it.
I mean, he's everywhere you turn in Britain, isn't he? He's on the BBC, he's on 5 Live, he's on ITV, he's on Good Morning, he's on everything. So you see his face, people think, right, that's the man.
Yes, and you need to be aware because the scammers are using what the things that he's saying and putting things out there also, and that is what drew me into it, and I got caught up in this. I click on it. Next thing I know, I receive a call, and I was signed up on this program, and I paid, I think it was supposed to be €200, but I paid like 150 something pounds.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was made to understand that I need to create a protective password, which I did, and a financial advisor will get in touch with me the Monday because they don't work weekends. This had happened, I think it was around the 17th of February. And I created that secure password, and when the financial advisor called me, I need to ask them what is my secure password. And once that person gives me that name that I have created, that means I'm safe. So which they did. This advisor called me, introduced himself as Adam, as a financial advisor. He works in London, and he's governed by the FSA and FCA. Also, he asked me where I saw the ad. I mentioned that, and I'm sure it was on Facebook. And he asked me exactly what is it I'm looking for and things like that. I said, well, I'm now starting up my property relocation business, and I would like to get things going quickly. I recently leave my job 2 years now, and I know, because I'm with Nationwide, I know if you go for a loan, they will ask you for 3 to 6 months
statements.
Payslip. Yeah. And I know I didn't have that anyway. So he said, yes, they work with small businesses and they help a lot of people. You understand my situation, my circumstances. And he was so lovely, very calm, and advising and give me advice at where they help people to get these loans and so forth. And I said, okay. He gave me the information. And I think what he did, he gave me they're so clever in the way they're doing these things. They give you the information so that you can go and research.
And where did you lose money and how much, Joan? And how in this scam did they get money off you then?
Okay, well, that's what I'm leading up to because we went through the process of applying for the loan. But the thing is, what happened, it got me to upload an app called AnyDesk, and AnyDesk give him the opportunity to you apply for the loan through Zupa alongside while on opening the Revolut account. Well, I've known about Revolut because I know people who have Revolut account, and because we need to have the Revolut account is supposed to be for the business, to keep it separate from my normal regular savings, and I did look up Zupa, and the loan was applied for. While he was applying for the loan, he had to get permission, get my bank statement, which was open up. I do that with my card reader, and he had access to that. The loan went through. It was approved within half an hour or so into my Nationwide account. Wow. That it was £8,000. Then we transferred $6,000 from my Nationwide account to Revolut account. That was okay. Well, over the weekend, for some reason, I went in to look into the Revolut account, and $6,000 was gone.
This is heartbreaking.
Left in that account.
And that money had been transferred to an account called Simplex. Now, we're coming up to 10, so I have to move it on a little bit with respect, Joan, and I really appreciate your time. So your bank are washing their hands of it, I'm sure. What are Revolut saying to you?
Revolut have me all around. They just have me passing me from one check because I end up had to go to the head office in London, which they don't see anyone. I managed to see a person on the floor, on the ground, said he's a part of the escalation team, and I was connected to communicate with someone named Conrad, K-N-O-R-A-D, and from Conrad to today, I've changed 6 people I've communicated with. They just passing me from one chat to the next. And also they keep asking me to take out a selfie with it, holding up an ID and number and 4-digit number, which I think is a bit odd. But up to now, nothing cannot be resolved. I've reported it also to the Action Fraud, which said 28 days I will hear from them, and I'm still waiting. So, but this has really been a terrible blow for me. It made me feel as if my privacy has been invaded because the scammers, they was trying to get me to transfer the next 2,000, which I refused to after I saw the money disappeared, and they started to threaten me that they'll report me for money laundering. My name is up there out in the public domain on trading platforms. And also, I don't know if they have access to my email, but I got that sorted because I keep receiving emails from Bitcoins, which I don't do any Bitcoin.
I mean, Joan, I'm sorry for everything you've gone through. This is in no credit to the scammers, but wouldn't it be great if these lending institutions had their professionalism, if you know what I mean? Because they went to such lengths to defraud you, and you would just hope the official legal institutions would put as much effort in to trying to help you. Joan, I'm very sorry for everything you've been through. I really appreciate you joining us and sharing your story to try and help other people avoid it, and I hope you get your money back. You sound like a lovely person, and this shouldn't have happened to you, and I'm so sorry to hear it, but thank you for helping us warn other people.
We just have to keep raising awareness and let people be more vigilant.
For sure, Joan. Thank you so much. Okay, take care.
So much. Thanks for having me. You're welcome.
Okay, heartbreaking story there. Another person losing a huge amount of money. They trusted a Facebook ad because Martin Lewis's face was on it, but as it turned out, of course, that was a scam. All right, we're going to be 2 minutes late with the news. Stay where you are. Back after that and the obituary notices.
The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
I've lost my car keys. Lost my car once in a multi-story. Lost my patience. My hair? Lost that a while back. But this week, I found things I thought had gone forever. The crackle of needle on vinyl. Leaves crunching. I found them all at Specsavers. I got free hearing aids with PRSI, and now those sounds are back. So's my joie de vivre. Still can't find those keys, though.
Book a free hearing test today. Terms and conditions apply. See our website for details.
House to Home Bridgend, Donegal. Our modest front door opens onto 2 floors of Irish-made furniture, suites, beds, mattresses, dining and occasional furniture. Step into our showroom and see how we can transform your house into a home. House to Home furniture, flooring, slide robes and interiors, Bridgend, Donegal.
Keep out the cold, cold, cold! And ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
The Top Line annual spring sale starts this Thursday, 23rd of March. High quality hardware, tools and outdoor products for your home or garden projects. Visit your local Top Line store for great products at great prices. Shop our spring sale for 1 week only. Top Line, here to help, happy to advise.
Not long till our trip to Ards and North Down.
I can't wait to dust off the golf clubs.
Or maybe I get some R&R in the spa.
We could book in some paddleboarding.
Or maybe kayaking this time. The kids would love that.
There's loads of great options for dinner and drinks.
The main question is, what do we do first?
Great moments to remember. Find great value breaks at visitArdsandNorthdown.com/offers.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's Donna Marie Doherty with the news in full at 10 o'clock.
Independent councillor Tom Conaghan is calling for a survey to be carried out on streetlights in Donegal town. He says repairs need to be done with multiple lights failing to turn on at all, while others are operating for 24 hours at a time. He's raised safety concerns for pedestrians as a result.
I would feel that need to be a survey done in the town in general and the surrounding areas, because of the fact that you could have 4 lights out in one place and you could have a few of the lights on 24/7. There's so many people out walking and jogging, and we take it maybe from the bypass and then you go on out to local garage on the Killybegs Road. There's a lot of lights missing there, and it's a very popular footpath to be walking or jogging on.
The outbound lane of the Portbridge Road is now clear. One lane had experienced flooding from the high tide at around 6 a.m. this morning, but it is now passable. Brian Cannon, Director of Roads and Transport with Donegal County Council, says works are presently being undertaken to ensure the high tides tonight and a further 2 tomorrow do not have the same impact on the road. Consultations with the OPW are ongoing. After much lobbying, Councillor Donald Mandy Kelly says he's delighted to finally announce a funding application submission to have walking and cycling facilities extended from Conwell Graveyard to New Mills Corn and Flax Mill. He says if successful, it will not only provide a safer walkway for pedestrians, but open up a new level of potential for the old mill.
I'm delighted to announce that now an application for funding has been submitted as part of the Community Recognition Fund. And the plan is to improve and upgrade the existing hard shoulder, and to have reflective bollards erected between the carriageway as well and the pathway for the safety of pedestrians and cyclists.
Boris Johnson could be battling for his political future later when he's questioned from a panel of MPs about the Partygate scandal. The UK Privileges Committee has already said rule breaking during lockdown should have been obvious to him. The former British Prime Minister's described some of their allegations as illogical and absurd, and he denies intentionally or recklessly misleading Parliament. But UK Labour MP Charlotte Nicholas thinks the position is not credible.
He was very clear when he said that no rules were broken was the advice, but then said no guidance was broken, which is a very different matter. He knew exactly what he was saying, and he did, in my view, intend to mislead Parliament.
The eviction ban for renters looks set to end on March 31st, as the government is on course to win a Dáil vote this afternoon on the issue. South Donegal Deputy Marion Harkin has questioned where people are going to go if the eviction ban ends. There are just 57 available rental properties in Donegal and little or no emergency accommodation available. She believes planning permission relief would be hugely beneficial.
Minister, if public authorities and local authorities could refurbish derelict buildings, empty buildings, and install modular homes for the next 15 months without having to seek planning permission, I could see that significant numbers of homes might well come on stream. And that's what's important, because that's really what matters. And that would mean more and more homes would be available.
A Donegal deputy has accused the government of leaving mortgage holders trapped. Deputy Pearse Doherty was critical of a lack of response to increasing mortgage rates during statements on the finance bill in the Dáil. He says proposed legislation offers nothing for struggling families. He says all the while some businesses have been abandoned without support.
I want to express my incredulity and disappointment that still, despite the repeated calls that have been made in the past 6 months, that we don't have an energy support scheme for businesses that rely on oil and LPG. It is absolutely scandalous. The fact that government have knowingly abandoned businesses in my county in Donegal, right down the west coast, that do not have pipe gas as a source of their energy. They have just left them high and dry.
And now for the weather this morning. Breezy with sunny spells and scattered showers. By afternoon, the showers will become frequent, merging to longer spells of rain at times. Some of the showers will be heavy with hail and lightning possible. Top temperatures of 9 to 11 degrees in fresh and gusty south to southwest winds. That's all for now. We'll be back again at 11 o'clock with the news headlines. Until then, good morning.
Vaccine protects you from the HPV virus,
which can cause cancers, including cervical cancer.
And the more young people who get the HPV vaccine,
the more will be protected from HPV-related cancers.
If you didn't get the HPV vaccine when it was offered to you at school,
you could be eligible to get it now, for free, as part of the Laura Brennan Catch-Up programme.
So go to hpv.ie to find out more.
From the HSE.
Now, you're very welcome back to the programme. The obituary notices will be coming to you very shortly, so stay right where you are. Just a slight glitch in the machine, but we'll get them to you very, very shortly. Right, okay. Let's see some of your comments just as we wait for those to be lined up for you. If you get a letter or email from Revolut to say they are not going to refund her, she can then write to the financial ombudsman, who would be able to investigate the claim. My friend did it this way, and he got 80% of the money he lost back. They'd be very glad to get that back, I'm sure. Hard to beat the onions, cut in half and left in rooms for lifting the germs throughout the house. I mean, obviously it's not medical advice, but if it works, it works, if it's worth trying. Greg, with all the talk about eviction bans, there's a site of nearly 30 houses, maybe more, sitting vacant in Carndonagh. The houses seem to be ready to walk into. The groundworks and everything is finished, so why don't the council buy these houses? It would ease the pressure a bit only, in my opinion. Well, we've contacted the council just to run it past them, to see what they have to say. We all know where the school money's being diverted to, but if you say where out loud, you're lambasted, so far right and called all sorts of names, etc., etc. It's nothing really to do with that. I don't know exactly what you're saying, and you're saying that the money's not available because it's being spent on housing refugees. In this case, it's simply not the case. There is a budget there. More money can be allocated to it. The money is there. The government is awash with money. It's got a rainy day fund and absolutely everything. I think what they're looking at is these projects, because of the increasing costs, that they have to look at how that's going to be funded, or how they're going to make sure that contractors stay on site and all that kind of stuff. But this one particular school is ready to go. They just need a letter of commencement. And just in this case, and I'm not saying you're wrong in other cases, in this case it's got nothing to do with housing refugees. Hi, Greg. You really need to get Norma Foley, the Education Minister, on Highland, along with Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin, about stopping the Gael School building in Donegal town. Sunlight is the best disinfectant is another thing they say. But look, we have made all the inquiries and we continue to do so. We want answers, and we want answers for the people out there. Again, just to remind you, the obituary notices, which many of you will have tuned into, will be coming to you very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Greg, read the flooding in Letterkenny this morning. Imagine that a tide that you know the height of for hundreds of years in advance still manages to flood a newly built road. Letterkenny biggest shambles continues. I've lots of questions. Unfortunately, I've no one to put them to. That work was ongoing. There's piling going on there. Shuttering that was there, was that removed? The bank that was there to stop the water that's been there for... It's been there for years to stop the water getting out onto that road. Was that bank removed? Is it not there? Was some of the shuttering removed? Was there a gap there? I don't know. What impact did that piling work have on it? But unfortunately, I have no one that I can actually put that question to. It's one of the highest tides of the year and will more likely be flooded again this evening, says a caller. And another... Ramelton Quay was flooded yesterday too. We all know this happened, so why are preventative measures not put in place? Good morning, Greg. Could you please outline to the council to repair the Convoy Road as soon as possible? The road's an absolute disgrace. There's no avoiding potholes now, as the entire width of the road is just all potholes. This is on the road to the nursing home. I've had my car at the garage now a few times because of this. What are we paying tax for, they ask. Right, okay, it is time now to bring those obituary notices to you. Our apologies for the delay.
The obituary notices this Wednesday morning, March 22nd. The death has occurred of Mary Jane Gillespie, née Harper, Carnador, Castlefin. Remains reposing at her late residence from 5 p.m. this evening. Funeral leaving from there on Friday at 10:15 a.m. for Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Killygordon at 11 a.m. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. The Requiem Mass will be streamed live on the St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Killygordon YouTube channel. Donations in lieu of flowers, if so desired, to the Friends of Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member. Family time, please, from 10 p.m. to 12 noon and on the morning of the funeral. The death has occurred of Bridget McFadden, Leitrim, Ty Holland, County Monaghan, and formerly of Ballyness, Falcarra. Bridget's remains will repose at McMahon's funeral home today from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. and at her home in Ballyness, Falcarra, tomorrow from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. Bridget's funeral mass will take place on Friday at 1 p.m. at St Fionan's Church, Falcarra, followed by burial at Gortahork Cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu of desired to the Alzheimer's Society, Monaghan, care of Peter McMahon, McMahon's Funeral Home, or any family member. The death has occurred of Nellie Ellen McMenamin, née Mecklehill, 49 Meenacloy Road, Castlederg. Nellie will be reposing at her son Owen's residence, 46 Meenacloy Road, today from 1 p.m. and all day tomorrow. Nellie will leave her residence, 49 Meenacloy Road, on Friday morning at 10 a.m, arriving at St Patrick's Church, Langfield, Drumquin, for 11 a.m. Requiem Mass. Burial immediately afterwards in the old cemetery. The death has taken place of Dara Steve Gallagher, Cinema House, Convent Road, Milford. Mass of the Angels in the family home on Friday at 12 noon, followed by interment in the family plot in Milford Cemetery. Family flowers only. Donations if desired to the National Ambulance Service. House private, please. The death has taken place of Mary P. McLaughlin, Fraser, Churchtown, Carndonagh, and formerly of Cashel, Glenealy. Remains reposing at her home in Churchtown, Carndonagh. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:15 a.m, going to St Mary's Church, Bocken, Culdaff, for Requiem Mass at 11 a.m, with interment afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Family time, please, from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. The death has occurred of Jeannie Sayers, née McElhinney, Urarui, Falcarra. Funeral service in Ray Church, Falcarra, this afternoon at 2 p.m, with interment in the adjoining cemetery. House private, please, on the morning before the funeral. Funeral service can be viewed live on Sweeney Funeral Director's Facebook page. Donations in lieu of flowers, if desired, to Ray Church, Falcarra, care of any family member or Sweeney Funeral Directors. For more details, including any family health guidelines for wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
It's time for NCBI Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Wednesday the 22nd of March. You're playing on the blue sheet. The reference number is S18. It's game number 12. The numbers are 3, 28, 32, 12, 75, 11, 10, 81, 65, and finally 23. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight. Leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your NCBI bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Could it get any better as a senior citizen? No sitting in traffic trying to get to work. Heading off on midweek breaks. Out for a bite to eat whenever it suits. And now that bite to eat costs even less at Kelly's Diner in Letterkenny, with 15% off after 3 every weekday when you spend €15. Meet up for a chat and a bite to eat Monday to Friday, with an extra 15% off the menu for all senior citizens at Kelly's Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
The time's 17 minutes past 10. We've got a choir in studio for you shortly. Stay tuned for that. If you want to watch it, get onto our website, highlandradio.com, or our YouTube, Facebook channels. I want to mention to you, though, that if a very short window now to win €1,000 in cash and €1,000 for to go towards a celebrity cruise booking. It's all part of our competition to win a holiday of a lifetime with Highland Radio. So as I say, this coming Friday, we're giving away €1,000 and we're giving away a €1,000 voucher to use on any celebrity cruise booking. That's going on Friday. The tickets are €10, 6 for €50 or 10 for €80. You can buy them for yourself or you can buy them and gift them to other people as well. That's completely up to you. You get them on our website, highlandradio.com. But of course, the €1,000 would be nice on Friday, wouldn't it? And that €1,000 voucher for a celebrity cruise booking would be nice. But that's not all. That's just a teaser for the big one. Because later on the 6th of April, we're giving away a €10,000 travel voucher plus €5,000 in cash spending money. It's all part of, as I say, our holiday of a lifetime competition with Highland Radio. So get on the website, highlandradio.com. You will not only be in with a chance to win that €10,000 travel voucher, which can be used in one magnificent holiday or a series of smaller holidays. It's completely up to you. It's yours to dip into until such time as that €10,000 has been exhausted. The €5,000 cash is yours as well to do with what you wish. It's all in association with Atlantic Travel, by the way. And you can go anywhere in the world. It's up to you, wherever. And I think for €10,000, you can pretty much go wherever you would like to go. So as I say, if you want to be in with a chance to win the big prize, but also that €1,000 in cash on Friday on this show, and that €1,000 to use towards a celebrity cruise booking, which maybe you've always thought of wanting to go on a cruise and you thought, well, shall I, shan't I? Well, here you are. You could be doing so for a tenner. Go to the website, highlandradio.com. Book your tickets there. It's a simple enough process. You'll see the competition banner. Click in. As I say, you can just buy one for a tenner. They get cheaper the more you buy if you want to gift them out or group in with family members. You know, if that's what you want to do. If 6 of you in the house are going to buy them, get the 50 and you save a couple of quid per ticket. Not bad, is it? Same 10 for 80. It's up to you, whatever way you want to do it. But just obviously do it if you can afford to do it and have a bit of fun with it. Now, also, if you don't want to use the website, there's no reason not to, okay? It's all perfectly secure, perfectly safe and really simple. But maybe you just prefer not to do that. You can ring us here. Katie will take your calls right now. Sort out your tickets on 07491 25,000. And as I say, you're in to win the €10,000 travel voucher to spend as much of or as little as you want as you go. €5 cash in your back pocket. They call it spending money. I call it a new bathroom. Or you could win on Friday €1,000 in cash as well. This is the bonus. Plus €1,000 celebrity cruise voucher, effectively, is what that is. So $2,000 in value to give away on Friday, $15,000 to give away on April 6th, close to 20 all in all. Get in now if you want to be in with a chance, and we can help make your dreams become a reality. If you want to order them over the phone, 07491 25,000, and many of you call into the office as well. But as I say, if you're going to do so, do it before Friday, and then you could be in with a chance to winning that bonus competition. Right. That's good fun, isn't it? Hopefully. I love it because we give much of that away on this show. We're lucky enough to be involved in that and to ring people up and tell them that they have €10,000 of a holiday voucher, €5,000 to spend on whatever they want to spend as well, by the way. Right, let's get back to some more of your comments here. Good morning, Greg. Could you please outline, I've already read that one, my apologies. Greg, the problem with RTE is its government propaganda TV station. Most of the people believe this 100%, and we all know what people think of this government. A lot of people have faith in the government, by the way. I recognise that you probably don't, but I also want to speak to and represent the views of the other groups of people out there that do kind of have faith in the government and have faith in the government parties. I mean, those people are out there as much as they are who feel dissatisfied. But that doesn't take away from your point. That's your view, and I fully respect your point of view. Greg, would it not be better to have a different presenter on the Late Late Show each month? You see, that doesn't work either, because a presenter might build up some sort of a relationship with the listeners and a rapport. I think the pool is too small. But as I said earlier on, I just think whoever takes the job, unless it's another Ryan Tubridy, they're just going to be lambasted from the get-go, because people are going to think, oh, well, you got the job because of such and such. Then they might go for a two-hander. I don't see what that achieves either. There's very few duos, I think, that have partnerships, good on-air chemistry. That has to be real. It can't be manufactured. You've heard it when they try and manufacture it. It doesn't work. There has to be a real thing there. And also, I just don't know. I don't know what role it plays anymore. I mean, yes, the toy show's brilliant, but beyond that, I don't know. At the same time, you can switch over and watch Graham Norton interview A-list celebrities, or on the other channel, you can see a pre-record with a B or C list, with no disrespect to them, or another footballer, or another author, or another presenter on RTE, or another impressionist, or another comedian from the very small pool. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's not for me anyway, so I'm not that bothered because I don't watch it. But I fully respect those that love it and do and watch it. Right, okay. Let us move on here. Hi, I'd like to highlight the need to reinstate the kids' Pelican Crossing at Kilmacrennan School. The road was resurfaced last year and it was not reinstated. They just left it with an orange strip across the road and rails to the side. It's an accident waiting to happen as the kids see the line and treat it as a proper crossing. They step out thinking the cars will just stop. Local traffic now know to stop, but anyone else would not. There are also heavy trucks and buses on the road. I've seen so many near misses in the last number of weeks that something needs to be done. I've emailed the council about it. And also and it's connected to this, I was sent pictures of that crossroads at Kilmacrennan, and one of the approaches down, say for instance, if you're heading from Letterkenny, the road to the left, the crossroads there, where a lot of children walk down, there's no footpath. It's very, very narrow. It's very narrow for cars, so if there's a van or a lorry there, I don't know what happens in that case. And then they have to turn out onto a main thoroughfare off a road that doesn't have a footpath. I don't know if that road is wide enough to accommodate a footpath, but look, we're talking about children's safety here, and I think something really needs to be done there. A caller says, or asked, and we like to get answers for you, where exactly does the money go at Now Doc? Is it directly to the doctor on call? Also, in maternity care, why is it not covered? These are all questions you asked us, and I promised we'd get you answers. This listener said, I was pregnant and wanted to rule out high blood pressure or something more serious. I queried this and was told maternity care not covered. We'll get an answer for that. Also, when you contact Now Doc and the nurse refers you to the emergency department, adult or child, you're billed for €100. If the doctor refers you and you have a GP visit card for a child, it's free. Hard to find logic in this. So we got onto Now Doc to try and get answers for you. And they said this. The current operating model of GP out-of-care service is managed and delivered by the HSE Now Doc as part of a hybrid model with Care Doc providing GPs for the delivery of care. In relation to payment, the GPs or financial charges for the acute services there are dealt with directly by Care Doc, and the acute services through pre-arranged arrangement between Care Doc and acute services. So that's the private element of this arrangement. With regards to the query in relation to maternity care charges, it is correct to say that maternity care is not covered in the out-of-hours service. Isn't that remarkable? So if you are pregnant and you have a pregnancy-related medical situation, your care is not covered by the out-of-hours service, which I find remarkable. If the patient is reviewed physically in either a GP surgery or an out-of-hours centre, the ED charge is not applicable. Where triage has taken place over the phone and advice is given to go to the ED, then the ED charges apply. So if you go to a GP, if you go to Now Doc, right, and you see a GP and the GP says, look, I think you should go to the ED to get checked out, the charges don't apply. But if you ring the nurse and the nurse says, this doesn't sound like a Now Doc issue, I think you should go to the ED, then the charges do apply. Make sense of that. Well, if anyone is unhappy or has a comment to make, they are free to use the HSC Your Service, You'll Say process. HSC Your Service, You'll Say is our process to listen and respond to your feedback about our services. Your feedback might be a comment, compliment or complaint. Your feedback helps us to improve our services and provide safe and high quality care and treatment. So all of those questions, as we promised you, answered. Right, okay, we were talking about stalking yesterday. And some of you text in relation to that. This caller says, we had a stalking incident where our daughter was having constant posts put up online about her. And no matter where she went, he was there, be it a cafe or a nightclub, even out shopping. We waited 5 months before we did anything about it. But when we contacted the Gardaí, it stopped almost immediately. Our only regret is waiting so long to contact. Look, you know yourself, if it feels like stalking, contact the Gardaí, and then you can be assured one way or other. Our family had to go to the guards recently over harassment and constant ringing and online posts, and they were absolutely brilliant. They listened and didn't make us feel we were doing anything wrong, so go and speak to them, please. There's 2 people who are saying they went to the guards and it sorted the situation out. Okay. Good morning, Greg. Can you remind that woman about the woman in England who ruined 3 men's lives for falsely claiming they were raped? That woman got 9 years, but the men will have a life sentence. We can't just believe all women because they say so, and no one does. There's a full procedures there. I don't understand that why. I understand where you're coming from, right? But that's what the Gardaí are there for. They investigate the situation. No one's word is taken just as is. The woman who made false accusations in England was investigated. The allegations were investigated and the allegations were found to be untrue, and she's been banged up for 9 years. Is that not proof the system works? It's not proof that this seems to suggest that women will make stuff up. It proves, does it not, that the system works in rooting out anyone, regardless of their gender. The system will root out them if they make false accusations. So I don't understand precisely the point that you're making, but again, I do thank you for texting in.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate holiday loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Save hundreds of euros on custom charges shopping online with Space Hub Dairy. We provide a full virtual office address mailbox service for all your business and personal use. Save your business hundreds, possibly thousands on custom charges with Space Hub Dairy. Call 048 7187 8077 for more details.
The Top Line annual spring sale starts this Thursday, 23rd of March. High quality hardware, tools and outdoor products for your home or garden projects. Visit your local Top Line store for great products at great prices. Shop our spring sale for 1 week only. Top Line, here to help, happy to advise.
Suffering from hearing loss? At Kingsbridge Hearing Care in Ballykelly, our expert audiologists are ready to see you. Our brand new clinic location within Kingsbridge Northwest offers a full range of hearing aid provision, including enhanced hearing assessments and earwax removal treatment. So what are you waiting for? Don't let hearing loss hold you back. Call us on 028 7707 6050 or visit kingsbridgehearingcare.co.uk to book your appointment today.
It's Century Cinema's 86th birthday on the 26th of March. To celebrate, all cinema tickets all day will be €5 each. Tickets go on sale from Tuesday the 21st of March at Century Complex and online at centurycinemas.ie. Visit Century Cinemas on Sunday the 26th of March to avail of this exciting offer. Terms and conditions apply.
We have the fit of suit you want. We have the size of suit you need. We have loads of suits to choose from. We have suits. We are the Suit Bar. Evolve Clothing, Letterkenny Retail Park. Or online at evolveclothing.com.
Okay, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. If it sounds like a train station, it's for good reason, because we have lots and lots of people in studio with us. Amongst them, Bernie Doherty, who is choir director of the Inishowen Choir of Ages. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for calling in.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great.
All
Delighted
right,
to be here.
And we have a lot of people in here with us. Okay, so talk to us before we're doing 2 songs, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about this collective of people here, Bernie.
Well, I think there's about 15 or 16 of us here, but the entire group is about 70 singers, aged 5 to 80 plus,
Mm-hmm.
and an 8-piece band aged about 14 to almost 80 as well.
Yes.
So it's a 10-week voluntary project, intergenerational singing. Inspired by, there was a Donegal Choir of Ages, they're still running, but it was a wee bit too far for us in Inishowen, so we decided to do it ourselves over a period of 10 weeks.
And I mean, obviously some people are going to know some people, but effectively, I presume many people meeting each other for the first time.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a beautiful sort of a lovely part of it, that too, making new acquaintances and what have you.
And it's been a real partnership between, everybody is collaborating and helping out, and we have family groups as well. We have grandmothers and granddaughters and babies, and we have
what
lovely
is the baby
Brody.
going to do?
The baby is the boss of the
He's
whole
not going to cover his
situation.
ears when mummy starts.
No, he hasn't missed a practice yet, and we've never heard Brody crying, so if it happens today, it's a first.
No problem. Well, probably loves the soothing sound of the music. Right, okay. And talk to me then, when you all get together for performances, around 60 singers.
Yeah.
And a band.
Yes.
So the sound is something else, I imagine.
Oh, it's huge. We've got like a stand-up double bass and drums and several guitars and lead guitar and everything. So it's a really beautiful sound. And the singers are maybe about 50 adults and about 20 children. So it's really powerful, a beautiful sound. And we're working towards a performance then in the Inishowen Gateway Hotel.
Shall we plug the Living Daylights out of that after we get one song?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's earn the plug.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so what should we start with? Can't Help Falling in Love?
Yes, that sounds great, yeah.
Brilliant. So whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I say, would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in
Okay, lovely, isn't it? That's just part of the choir of ages. Janet, Geraldine, Anne, Francis, Sophia, Charlene, Connor, Katie, Mia, Stephanie, Benny, Alivtina, is it?
Yes, Alivtina.
Lovely. Hannah, Donald, Monica, Corrine, Caroline, Rosie, Tanya, Bernie, and on the guitar at 5 months of age, really quite remarkable, 5 months old Bernie. I have to say, the strumming is just to keep that at that age, to be able to keep that melody and the timing
That's why we keep
and
rolling
the
around.
pace.
Friends of the whole organisation.
Right, okay, so talk to me then about the history of this. As you said, I think you mentioned this was all pre-COVID initially, wasn't it? And obviously everything stalled, and then you were able to get everything back up and running again.
Yeah, we started it actually just a matter of weeks before everything shut down, and we very quickly realised it was something special. I mean, just the feeling of warmth in the room is absolutely amazing.
I'm getting the feeling of warmth now.
Yeah.
I think I need to put the air conditioning on.
But it was just such a beautiful thing that in the weeks and years that passed after COVID, we were always kind of determined to get back together and finish what we started. So we gave it a wide berth. So, you know, getting a big group of people back together was as safe as it could be. So we started again this year, and now we're just 3 weeks away from our big show.
I don't know what it is, but there's something particularly special about just such a large group of people coming together and singing so beautifully together. But I think the cross-generation element of it and everything, it's just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of practice has to go into it as well.
Oh, it's definitely a lot of work.
Because everyone has their own styles and tones and everything, don't they?
And there's a lot of solos, you know, and harmonies and stuff as well in the show as well. So everybody is chipping in and doing their bit.
Right, so I've got it in my notes here. This is a 10-week intergenerational singing project. So, I mean, does this continue after the 10 weeks, or at the end of the 10 weeks? Is the show, which we're going to talk about, the culmination of it, and then that's it, or what happens next?
Well, as of right now, the show is sort of the culmination of it, and obviously down the line we'd love to do it again. But as a voluntary choir, it is very labour intensive.
Of course, I'd imagine
when
so.
people have other commitments, it was nice to try it initially as a 10-week thing so that it's something everybody could commit to.
All right, so talk to us then about the gig, which is going to be something special. I mean, obviously what we've just heard was great, but it goes up a notch, doesn't it? Because all the singers are there, and we appreciate everyone's effort in coming down here today, by the way. And then the 8-piece band is there. So talk to us a little bit about the show.
Well, the show is in the Inishowen Gateway. It's on the April 6th at 7:30, and the whole choir will be there in force, and the band as well. So we have a beautiful songbook, old songs, new songs, some well-loved songs, and a couple that you might not have heard before. And it's just a really beautiful sound. I mean, honestly, I think anybody who will attend, they won't help but feel the warmth and the connection in the room. It's
going
really
to be
beautiful.
something special.
Oh,
April the 6th at 7:30 p.m. in the Inishowen Gateway Hotel. You're invited to come along, sing along, or relax and take in the joy of music that can bring the joy of music. I can't understand what that's saying. I don't know who wrote it. Anyway, was it you, Bernie?
Can I say no?
I know what the
It was
point.
Brody.
I know the point you were trying to make.
Sorry, Brody.
Music brings us all joy.
We'll leave it at that.
I'm only joking, Bernie. Right, so where can people get tickets?
Tickets are on ticketsource.ie, or they're also available in the Exchange in Buncrana, Wednesdays 4 to 9 and Thursdays 4 to 7.
And this is a once-off show, so
one night only.
So get your tickets or miss out, okay?
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to miss out.
It's
People
gonna be
will inevitably, though. April the 6th is only just around the corner, folks. It's at 7:30 p.m. It's in the Inishowen Gateway Hotel. Bernie, you can get your tickets in the Exchange, or what was the website you mentioned?
Ticketsource.ie.
Right, okay. I think they're going to sell out. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It's just a case of whether people get in early or miss out.
Absolutely.
All right, and it's the Inishowen Choir. All volunteers running this, by the way. It's amazing. People giving up their own time. People of all different ages, from 5 to 80 plus. And 60 singers on the night, an 8-piece band. We've just got a brilliant sample of it here, but it's only a fraction, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Bernie on guitar and 15, 16 others then, and Brody, of course. Right, so we are going to hear now Something Inside So Strong, which is a classic, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And it's an amazing sound when we're all together.
Multiple singers, I can
Beautiful.
imagine. Right, whenever you're ready, I look forward to this one.
Lovely. Thanks, Greg.
How you build your barrier. something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone, oh no. Something inside so strong, oh, something inside so strong, oh, something inside so strong, oh, something inside so strong.
Yay! Thank you so very much. That was lovely. Thank you all for coming down. It's really appreciated. And just to remind everyone that if you want to go along to the Inishowen Choir of Ages concert, and it's with musicians and singers from the ages of 5 to over 80, it's going to be a very special event. It's in the Inishowen Gateway Hotel on April the 6th at 7:30 p.m. Go along and enjoy the joy that music can bring you.
We're just going to stick with that.
Okay. And tickets are available at the Exchange and also online. Where?
Source.
Ticket Source. All right, thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. That was absolutely lovely.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Do you know what I love about Letterkenny Shopping Centre? I love it because everything I need is under one roof. There's fashion shopping for women and men, health foods and cosmetics, Tesco's and Pennies, free parking and late night shopping Thursday and Friday. I love it because Letterkenny Shopping Centre has it all, including homeware, jewellery, hair and beauty and Revolution Laundry and their free car park. Letterkenny Shopping Centre. So much choice and open 7 days.
If you're having any hearing difficulties, at Donegal Hearing Clinic we can help. If your hearing loss is slight but you want to look into it, or it's got to the point where you've no other choice, we'll do what it takes to resolve your problem. It may be as simple as a wax removal. Donegal Hearing Clinic, Pierce Road, Letterkenny and Milltown Business Park, Buncrana. Call us on 07491 88470 or visit donegalhearingclinic.ie. Life sounds brilliant with Donegal Hearing Clinic, Letterkenny and Buncrana.
For confirmation and First Communion, there's a great selection of suits, casual wear and footwear at Watson Menswear in Letterkenny. Top brands include 1880 Club, Diesel and Tommy Bow Footwear, all at great prices. Stand out for the big day at Watson Menswear, open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny and at watsonmenswear.com.
New trainers from your favourite brands at Brian McCormick Sports, Brooks, Asics, On Running and Hoka. New Hoka Clifton 9 has a wider toe box and it's softer, giving you that Hoka spongy feeling, making your run more responsive. Step into our safe size experience, have your feet measured and update your gait analysis. Brian McCormick Sports, Main Street, Letterkenny. Look the part, play the part on bmcsports.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with Ireland West Airport. Fly daily to London Heathrow with Aer Lingus and connect to 80 plus destinations worldwide, including Boston and New York. Ireland West Airport. Don't just take off, take it easy.
All right, so let's have a look at that weather forecast if I can bring it up for you here, which I can, of course, as I do every quarter to. Right, breezy this morning with sunny spells, scattered showers by afternoon. The showers will become frequent, merging to longer spells of rain at times. Some of the showers will be heavy, with hail and lightning possible. Top temperatures of 9 to 11 degrees in fresh and gusty south to southwest winds. Right, okay, you must know, don't you, that thousands of households across Ireland are missing out on medical expenses tax refunds. A survey from taxback.com shows more than 60% of Irish taxpayers are not applying for the refunds. Almost 43% cite a lack of awareness around tax refunds and eligibility, while more than 1 in 4 say they are just afraid of having anything to do with the taxmen. You don't want to poke the bear, do you? Right, Marion Ryan's Business Development Manager with taxback.com. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Right, I mean, listen, Taxback is a company. It's a commercial company. They make money, right? And they make money by doing the legwork that we don't want to do. So if we're entitled to it, you just take a small percentage. We get money that we probably were never going to get in the first place. And your company makes a few quid as well. It is simple as that. And just get that straight out there because, you know, that's
it in a nutshell.
That is what we're talking about here. And there are, God knows how much money is sitting in the coffers that we could have back. I availed of a service like this. I'm not sure if it was yours or another, and I think I got a check back for something like €3,000, and I only sent off an email off the back of one of these interviews.
Yeah, so it's not millions, it's hundreds of millions that are actually sitting out there unclaimed by people. The revenue actually confirmed that there's over €600 million over the last 3 years that are sitting there unclaimed by people there that haven't simply filed their tax return and looked for the refund that they're due back. And I suppose we in TaxBack, we do these surveys, we do them on a quarterly basis, just to kind of find out their sentiment surveys, what's going on with people there. And it's still a huge thing there that people just simply have the fear of applying for their tax refund, a fear that they're going to end up owing money, or a lack of I couldn't be bothered, my taxes are grand, my employer looks after that for me there. But that's not the case. There's refunds, there's huge refunds there for people. We find on average we get about €1,800 back for people that apply for us there.
Now, I can understand too that you want to get people you've already worked with to come back, so you might talk about specifics like dental or medical, right? So we'll get to that cohort in a minute, but let's throw the net more wider just to begin with, right? Because I know there's lots of people listening that haven't gone through this process. So why might people be entitled to that on average €1,800 back then? What is happening to their tax affairs that has them overpaying to that extent?
What I always say to people is major life events, so births, deaths, marriages, generally they're going to trigger a refund for people. So if it's a case you got married in the last 4 years, if it's a case that unfortunately there was a breakdown in a marriage and you got separated or divorced, both of those events are going to trigger tax refunds for you there. If it's a case that you have a child, you may be a single parent, there's a single parent child cares tax credit that you're available to there. Or maybe it's a case that you're married and you're jointly assessed and you have a child there, there's a home carers tax credit. So any major life event is going to trigger a refund. But then it does come down to the simple things like your personal circumstances. So if you have medical expenses, a lot of people kind of think, oh yeah, I cannot do something back for that. Any medical expense you have, however small it is, be it a prescription fee that's €10 a month, you're entitled to tax relief of 20% of that back there for
Which
yourself.
adds up. And that's on one single prescription.
Exactly. And that's per month over the space of 4 years, it all adds up again there. And also as well, like things like the rent tax credit, it's the buzzword that's going around the place. Everyone kind of hears about it. People are kind of fearful again of applying for it there. If you're paying rent for yourself or if you're paying rent for a child that's in college there, you're going to be due a tax refund in relation to it, and it could be up to €1,000 for you there. So it's really important to include it there. And we always talk about these things as building blocks. They're building blocks to build up the refund there. So you might have €50 for your medical expenses. You might have €1,700 if you're entitled to the home carers tax credit for that there. Maybe you have a child in college, you're paying for rent for them, and you're probably paying tuition fees for them as well there. It all builds up along the way there and gets really nice refunds for people.
What about then the fear, and we'll get to more examples, what about the fear then about not wanting to poke the bear, that maybe they're afraid that they've been underpaying tax and that this will, or maybe they feel that there's some tax that might be liable for COVID payments or what have you, and you start down this road, next thing you know, you have the taxman chasing you rather than you chasing they.
And it's a very real fear that people have. So if we leave COVID aside, generally 9 times out of 10 PAYE employees aren't going to have an underpayment. It's very, very rare. But those that maybe did receive a COVID payment, there could be underpayments lurking in the background there for them. And one nice thing that the revenue have actually done, and they changed their system. So generally before, if you had a refund, say for 1 year, but you had an underpayment in a previous year, they used to take that refund, offset it against and clear it off. What they're actually doing now is that they're going to you still get your refund for 2022, for example, if you're due a refund there. But if there's an underpayment there for previous year as a result of a COVID payment, what they're going to do is they'll reduce your tax credits in future years. So you don't actually have to pay a big lump sum over to the taxman now in relation to it. And I suppose then you have the peace of mind that you're compliant, that everything is correct and right with your taxes, and you'll still get your refund that you're due for 2022 as well there. So it kind of tidies it all up, gets nice and neat for you there. But I wouldn't be hugely fearful about underpayments. And I suppose that's the worst case scenario, is that figure there that you're looking at. And what's really important is if there is an underpayment, file your tax return in relation to it and include all your expenses, because you can bring it down a bit for you there. So if you maybe had braces in 2020 there that cost you €3,000 there, but you're afraid to file because you got the wage subsidy as well there, that €3,000 worth of dental expenses there will bring down that underpayment for you as well there. So it's really important to include everything in on it for yourself.
And at the end of the day, if you fear the taxman, it's probably for good reason. If there's anything outstanding, they are going to track you down eventually in any case. So it's either, sorting it out or not sorting it out. You might as well sort it out with an overpayment rather than having to leave that overpayment sitting there and still have to pay back what they're entitled to.
Exactly. And like with the underpayments, the revenue, we can go back for refunds. We can claim refunds for 4 years back. So we can back as far as 2019. If you have an underpayment there sitting on your account since 2002, the revenue can forever chase you for that there. Now, to be honest, they're quite reasonable. So it's not that they're not going to come chasing after small fry like ourselves, as we would put it there. They're more inclined to chase after the bigger fish there. But it's best to get things sorted and not to be fearful of it. It's very unlikely that you will have an underpayment unless, of course, you did receive the wage subsidy or the PUP. And if that's the case, talk to someone like ourselves and we can actually have a look at it and see what the worst case scenario is for you and kind of help you sort that out.
So how does it work in that? My understanding is for certain things, like you don't necessarily need the receipts. Who's going to keep 4 years of receipts for medical treatment or what have you? But they might come looking for them. Explain to me how that works and what people need before they go down this road.
Yeah, I suppose for ourselves here at taxback.com, we kind of always stress on the compliance side. So we would ask you to send in the receipts to us. Now, I suppose the beauty of it is you send in the receipts to us, we hold on to them then for the next 6 years. So if the revenue looks for them there. When it comes to things like the rent tax credit, you don't need to send us in a receipt for it there. We just need the details of your landlord and the RTB registration number. And the rent tax credit it's a lovely one, but it's a tricky one there because we're finding a lot of people are coming up to an issue where their landlord isn't registered with the RTB and the landlord is refusing to register with the RTB, and unfortunately those people can't get their tax credit. So it's a big problem for people out there. We're running into it more and more every day. But again, if it's a case that you are genuinely renting from a landlord, you're paying your rent, get in touch with us and we'll see if we can argue the point with the revenue commissioners for you.
Now, the person contacts a company like yours, there's only a cost or a charge, isn't there, if you are successful in achieving a rebate? Is that correct?
Absolutely. So we work on a no refund, no fee basis. So if you get in touch with us and we do a review there for you, and if there's no refund due back to you, there's no harm done, there's no fee or anything like that, Charlotte. At least you know you're not missing out on something that you're entitled to. And even if we look at it and we think there's an underpayment, like a lot of people are fearful out there, there's no refund due, there's no fee charged, but at least we'd be able to kind of explain to you, look, there's an underpayment there. As a result of this is what we think you should do in relation to it there. And it's just, I suppose there's no harm in looking into these things, and there's millions of euros left sitting out there that people aren't getting. Yeah, but I mean, like, what might appear like an endless maze to us, because where do you even start? I find it's a struggle to log into the YouGov website, let alone anything else. Literally just getting into the bloody thing I struggle with, and when I get in there I haven't a clue what's going on. But you guys do this all the time, so it's a lot more simpler for you for use. But I mean, obviously it's no risk. That's what you're saying. You know, if there's money sitting there that's yours, there's no risk in contacting the likes of your company to get that back effectively. Absolutely. We try to make it as easy as possible for people there. So we would send you out a questionnaire. The questionnaire seems like we're being nosy, asking, are you married and you're single and all this. It's not me wanting to know all of your business there. It's me trying to root and find what different credits and reliefs that you're entitled to.
Thanks for all your time this morning. I appreciate it greatly. Have a lovely day, okay? That's Marion Ryan, Business Development Manager with taxback.com. There are others out there as well, by the way. It's just they are the group that did this survey.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
It was a beautiful day. This is U2 with Songs of Surrender, a collection of 40 songs reimagined by the band. Beautiful day. Featuring Beautiful Day and One, but we're not the same. U2, Songs of Surrender, available at Golden Discs.
Keep out the cold, cold, cold! And ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
The Sign Place, Callahan's-Burt have a job opportunity for a full-time graphic designer. Working Monday to Friday, the graphic designer will work as an integral part of our team, assisting with the design, manufacturing and production of graphics and signage projects. At the Sign Place, Callahan's-Burt, we specialise in the production of internal and external signage, as well as vehicle graphics, advertising material, banners and logos. Experience preferred. Please send CVs to info@thesignplace.ie.
Trinity College Dublin has been inspiring generations for over 400 years. With a reputation for excellence in education, research and innovation, we offer a wide range of postgraduate programs at master's, diploma and certificate level. Join us at our postgraduate virtual open evening on Tuesday the 28th of March from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Meet our world-leading academics, students and admission teams and be inspired to take the next step in your career. Register your interest at tcd.ie.
Shop Evolve Clothing for Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Paul & Shark, Gant, and many more casual and streetwear brands. Menswear Superstore, Letterkenny Retail Park, or online at evolveclothing.com. 2 floors of fashion, open 7 days.
We at Highland Radio love Irish music, and we want to show our support. Throughout Irish Music Month this March, in partnership with Hot Press Magazine, we're asking you to support the Irish musicians, artists and bands who make every party, every drive home and every day magic. That's right. To celebrate Irish Music Month on Highland Radio, we're asking you to support Irish artists and musicians by buying Irish albums, Irish tickets, Irish t-shirts and Irish music merch. Irish musicians have shown that they are right up there with the best in the world, so let's support them by buying Irish. Proudly supported by Highland Radio, Hot Press, IBI and the BAI Sound and Vision Fund.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio.
Yes, it is indeed, and it's 11:01, which means it's time for a news update. And we welcome back into studio Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Independent councillor Tom Conahan is calling for a survey to be carried out on streetlights in Donegal town. He says repairs need to be done with multiple lights failing to turn on at all, while others are operating 24 hours at a time. He raised safety concerns for pedestrians as a result of this. After much lobbying since taking his seat in Donegal County Council, Councillor Donald Mandy Kelly says he's delighted to announce a funding application to have walking and cycling facilities extended from Colmwall Graveyard to New Mills Corn and Flax Mill. He says it will not only provide a safer walkway for pedestrians, but open up a level of potential for the old mill. Anger, disappointment and a feeling of limbo are some of the terms used to describe feelings surrounding paused works at Gaelscoil na Cathermeister in Donegal town. Speaking on the 9 to Noon show earlier, school principal Coleman McCool says they were waiting for the diggers when the letter disclosing the government's new policy to pause all schoolworks came in. He says another delay would not be good for them, and he feels like the rug has been pulled from under the Gaelscoil. Brian Cannon, Directors of Roads and Transport with Donegal County Council, says works are presently being undertaken to ensure high tides tonight and a further 2 tomorrow do not impact the Port Bridge Road. One lane was flooded this morning, causing traffic delays. He says consultations with the OPW are ongoing. And Donegal County Council are again appealing to dog owners to ensure responsibility for their pet. In a social media campaign, owners are reminded that their dogs should be microchipped, have a collar and to always carry bags to clean up dog fowl. It comes after appeals in the past weeks for owners to ensure their dog doesn't pose a threat to sheep, particularly during the lambing season. And finally, the scale of Tory rebellion over the British government's new Brexit deal will be made clear soon. 2 former British Prime Ministers says they'll join the DUP in rejecting part of the Windsor Framework in the House of Commons later. Meanwhile, Labour's already promised to back the UK government though. That's all for now. We'll be back again with more headlines at 12 o'clock.
All right, Donna Marie, thank you very much indeed. We'll be back with our guests for Wellness Wednesday in just a couple of moments.
Hi, Adam Harris here from As I Am, Ireland's national autism charity. Sunday 2nd of April is World Autism Day, and we're asking you to put on your walking shoes and join us for our Same Chance Walk for Autism in Belmont Domain in Greystones. The Same Chance Walk is a great way to show your support by helping to raise much needed funds for our work with autistic children, families and adults. We all deserve the same chance in life, but autistic people face barriers that others don't. Please help us to remove these barriers. Join us on the 2nd of April. Sign up today at asiam.ie.
All right, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. And this Wednesday, of course, Wellness Wednesday, regular feature after 11 o'clock, we talk about the Fit for Life programme. And joining us in studio, Raymond Birch, chair of Letterkenny Athletic Club. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Greg.
We appreciate you calling in. And also Darren Price. Late sub, Darren?
Yep.
Good man.
Good to fill in.
No bother to you at all. Right, what is Fit for Life? Do you want to take that one, Raymond?
Fit for Life is a programme for all levels of runners, from the complete beginner to someone that's doing a bit of jogging every week, to help with their fitness and their wellness in a structured environment that's fun and safe.
And inclusive too, because I think
Very
a lot of people think, runners take it all very seriously. I'm only beginning. Where do I fit in? Do I have the right runners? Are my shorts too long?
Yeah, it's all...
You know what I mean? But, we put these things in our head, don't we?
Yeah, it's all about bringing new people into the club that maybe didn't do... haven't done a lot of running before, or just, as I say, it's just for a complete beginner.
Yeah. Darren, how long have you been a member?
I suppose I first got involved with the club back in 2012. Funny story, I was actually going home from work one evening and I thought the local GA was holding a 5k. I thought, geez, that'd be a good idea, I'll give that a go. And probably since then I've been a bit like Forrest Gump. I used to turn up at the 5k Grand Prix races without any training or structure, like Raymond said. And then suppose over time a few of the club members got me involved, says, why don't you come down and give it a try, and did, and been there ever since.
And did you have a passion for running before that? Or
Not beforehand, no. It was just an off the cuff notion I took. I thought the local GA was doing a 5k as I was going home. I thought, we'll give it a go and see what happens.
Right, brilliant. But you were welcomed with open arms then into the club itself then, obviously,
into the club,
you kept turning up.
Into the club, yeah. Definitely. So they are very encouraging to get people involved, and that's how I got involved. And no more than anybody else, you think, oh, it's not for me, the environment's not for me, that I wouldn't be running at their level. But you find your level when you're there, and the group environment is incredibly encouraging for the likes of people that's coming in. So look, you have people that you have a bit of banter with, you can chase somebody, you have somebody trying to catch you, so you have all those different elements too.
Yeah.
But it's really that group environment that does help people, to encourage them to keep exercising, I suppose.
Yeah, and there is obviously there's the fun side of it too, but everyone has their levels, and there's always someone around you, and that's what you run off of. That's what you sort of can motivate yourself off as well. And Raymond too, it's Fit for Life too, isn't it? This is about sort of not necessarily, and there's no harm in it, someone getting up on January the 1st and saying, right, I'm going to start doing this. It's just that this type of activity, this kind of involvement becomes part of your life and has those long-lasting benefits. It's not a fad or a one-week thing. It's like this guy turns up in 2012 and just doesn't go away.
Exactly, yeah. I suppose, as Darren said, a lot of people find or would think that Letterkenny Athletic Club isn't for them, that they're not able for it. So the Fit for Life definitely is an entry level, and like we want to encourage as many people in the community to come along to it, because it's about giving back to the community, because the community has been very generous to us down through the years, and even we're lucky to have plenty of sponsors in the community too who look after us. So it's all about giving back. That's what we want to do, and we want to just to have an entry level there for people to
yeah, and that's it, Raymond. And I'm not sure if I made it clear here, because we've been talking about running, and I love Darren's story, but this is for people at the beginning of the journey, no matter where they're at. Like, he was able to jump out and do a 5k, but maybe people are starting to walk, or maybe they've moved to a jog.
Yeah.
It's not just running; it's right across. It's right across those activity levels.
Yeah, there's going to be all abilities there, hopefully, and everybody's going to be catered for. And as Darren said, it's the emphasis really is on fun and having people come out, feel better about themselves. go away, jump in the car, go away, and think to themselves, right, I enjoyed that, I'm coming back, I'm going to bring a friend with me next week.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sure both of you have a ton of stories of people, no need to mention any names, that turned up, at the start of their sort of fitness journey or whatever, and next thing you know, however long later, they're running the 5Ks, the half marathons. Their life has changed. I'm sure both of you know loads of people like that.
That's it. I think that's the great thing about exercise, not just running. Once you get going in it does become incredibly addictive. And that's where, like, you come in at your entry level and you're walking around the track, let's say, ever so slowly or progressively, you will get better, and you will want to achieve more and challenge yourself.
And if you miss your run, you'll get a bit grumpy.
Exactly.
Isn't that the truth?
We're all like that.
Yeah, all right. So the first session of the new programme takes place at the Danny McDade track at the Aura Leisure Centre. It's in Letterkenny on Monday, April 17th at 5:45. And at that stage, we have the nice long evenings to look forward to, don't we, as well? That's from this coming weekend. It won't be dark till 9 minutes to 8 on Sunday, which is beautiful, isn't it? We all need that extra bit of sunlight. So what happens if I roll up? I mean, you can come up on your own, you can drag someone along with you. So what happens on April 17th if I land up at 5:45, Ray?
Well, when somebody lands, what we're going to do is we're going to find out, get everybody's names, and we're going to bring them onto the track, and we're going to maybe do a bit of stretching, a bit of a warm up, and we'll find out kind of where everybody's level's at.
And even that is so important. The stretching and the warm-up, isn't it? Even if you turned up for that and sodded off afterwards, do you know what I mean? Because I would say there's a lot of people that have wanted to give it a go, didn't do the simple things correctly, pulled something in the back of their thigh or something and says, I can't do that, my body's not fit for it, and it probably was down to not a proper warm-up or a stretch.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Fit for Life, especially within the club. Like, we have so much experience and expertise in the club, and for people that's beginning to run or people just doing a bit of running, if they come along and they can be guided properly on what to do and how to move forward properly.
So say then another person lands up and they've been out doing a bit of walking and they can see their fitness is beginning to improve and they want to bring it up to a bit of a jog or a run or something, Darren. But, where do you get trusted advice on what are the right shoes? I mean, you can get running socks now, for crying out loud, that are good for a marathon or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like a set of tyres and they're only the things that go in the shoes, right? So how will there be people there to sort of help and advise, this is what I did, this is what worked for me, all that kind of what seems simple stuff. But even if you tried to Google... Now, I know the answer to a lot of this is we've got some fantastic sport shops in Letterkenny, right? And they give brilliant advice, non-judgmental advice. But do you know what I mean? Maybe they want to hear it from someone else face to face on the track.
Again, look, that's the beauty about having this structured platform now for people coming to walk or jog, whatever. That the people that will be helping here have an abundance of experience in terms of exercise and running. So look, they'll be given their advice on the best gear to wear, what's suitable, what's not suitable, what'll help, what won't help, what you should eat, what you should drink before the sessions. So look, there's a huge amount of experience there, and that all will be available to anybody that does appear on the night of the 17th.
Yeah, and I think an important thing that I saw just in a bit that I was reading there too, if someone goes on their own, they're not going to be on their own, Raymond.
No, definitely not. We're very lucky to have we have 6 coaches that's involved, and we're all going to be there, and we're going to help encourage everybody on the night, so nobody is going to be left on their own on the night.
Yeah, and I like the idea of it just being a random 17th of April, because I do think a lot of us do. Maybe it's a birthday or it is January the 1st or something. Do you know what I mean? And I think this is just a random date that you haven't chosen yourself. Roll up there and change your life.
Yeah, we had... I floated this idea back in December, and we thought it was going to be rushed, and then we didn't want to jump on in January. We said, right, we'll take our time, we'll plan this well, we'll do it right. And then I think it was Darren mentioned that maybe the 17th of April is after Easter. There's no excuses then. You have the long evenings and hopefully the good weather. So from then on,
well, the rain will be warmer.
That's it.
All right, excellent stuff.
You'll only get wet the once.
Well, that is it. That's it. True. There's no doubt about that as well. Now, people are asked to register their expression of interest. We'll tell them a little bit more about that at the moment. But I don't know what you guys think. But I think, and maybe it's after what we've came through or whatever, but people are out more now, or willing to, or want to, and maybe the last couple of years has been a wake-up call or a reminder or whatever. But I think it's great to see record attendances at sports matches and people out walking. I just think there's an appetite there, Darren, for people to want to get out, get active, to socialise, to mix with people. This is another way of doing it. And it's not no harm going into a bar if you don't want to. But I mean, even just for meeting people, it's another way of meeting people in a nice, open air, friendly, healthy environment, and I think that's really attractive.
Like, you're 100% right. What we really want to do was provide that platform for people who may be still a bit reluctant and get involved in exercise, because look, once you do get started, I guarantee you will become addicted to it and it will become a routine, and it'll be a reoccurrence for yourself going forward. So
Right, so register in advance. I would suggest going to the Letterkenny AC Fit for Life programme, because the URL's some crack. 12B9HZ9QS90.typeform.com. So shall we just go to the social socials and maybe click the link?
Yeah, it's all over all our socials, so it is.
Okay. And don't allow yourself... and obviously, if you need to maybe check with a GP before you turn up, that's always advisable, is it? If you haven't, and that's normally routine, because the GP loves to see you getting out and doing stuff. But if you've any concerns in that regard, just give them a call and run it past them. Would that be decent advice? Would it?
Yeah.
If you've not done it for a while,
advice, yeah.
Okay. And don't put any barriers in the way. Here's a perfect opportunity if you're in and around the Letterkenny area to go out and see if you like it and see who's at it and have the crack and get fit.
Hopefully we'll see you down there too, maybe, Greg.
Well, it's a bit far from me. I'm not a Letterkenny man, but I have to think of the carbon footprint I would leave. What did I say about not making excuses? But do you know what? I am just primed for something like this. I know I have to do something, because especially with age, like say even with me, I mean, obviously you find, sometimes you just don't have as much puff as you used to have. But even something like your back, wee tinges in your back, and I go and went to get it massaged out. But the advice is, well, what exercise do you do? What are you doing to support your back, to support your core? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's good for people of all ages, but you come to a point where you can't keep ignoring the advice. You have to be a bit more active. You have to strengthen your core. You have to give your body its best chance, don't you?
It's funny. I would suffer from a bit of a sore back, standing for long periods of time. Then when I started running, the issue seems to have kind of resolved itself a wee bit. Like, so I don't know if it was from the running or what it was, but I'm putting it down to the running.
Yeah,
anyway.
well, that's what the experts say.
Yeah.
And that's to say, it's something simple where people are going, God, my back. When you think that's it, you think, oh, well, I'm a certain age and that's my life. Now, obviously, I'm talking about more muscular stuff rather than bony stuff. Yeah. But it's just this type of activity could help you in other areas of life as well. Right, okay. What have you anything, big challenges come up for yourselves? Are you just running for fun, running any marathons, or what's coming up or anything?
Well, a few half marathons planned. So,
well, why do a half? Might as well go the whole hog if you're going to do it.
We've one in plan for the end of the year.
You don't eat half an Easter egg.
There's always future planning involved in running. So I'll do the half first, and then I'll progress towards the full then.
Have you done a full marathon yet, Darren?
I done a full marathon in Dublin last year.
And how was that like?
It was incredibly tough, but I broke 3 hours for that marathon.
Wow.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's a big achievement for
and
myself.
When you actually ran that marathon, had you run that distance before? I don't know how it works with training or...
Yeah, so that would have been my 4th marathon. But again, you have a training plan that works you up to that distance.
Yeah.
So,
but do you physically run the distance prior to it?
Not prior to that.
You're building your body up to ready to go. And so half marathon's coming up. You'll plan it. There's a full marathon later in the year.
Yeah, I'm hopefully going to Frankfurt later in the year. Yeah,
great.
So do a full marathon there. Yeah,
brilliant. I'd say it's tough. But
I'm just going to stay local and go to the Northwest 10K on Maybank holiday.
Fair play to you, Darren. And you're right. Do you know what? Who needs to jet set all over the world running marathons? But listen, whichever way you do it, isn't it brilliant to be out and to be active? And that's what Raymond and Darren want for you out there. If you're a walker, or you're starting to walk, or you're jogging, or you want to move from jogging to running, and you want to do it with other people, and you want to connect with other people, then get yourself to the Danny McDade track at the Aura Leisure Centre in Letterkenny. And you're blessed to have great facilities that allow things like this. It's on Monday, April the 17th, so you've got a few weeks to build yourself up to it emotionally, if that's what's required. And it's at 5:45, so it's going to be a bit warmer for sure, and certainly for definite we're going to have those longer evenings. The initiative is run in association with the Donegal Sports Partnership, which do brilliant work actually, and I've learnt that through doing this programme and various interviews, and it will cater for all levels of walkers and joggers, from the complete beginner to the regular walkers and the runners. And you can hear from Raymond and Darren, you just want to give back. You want other people to enjoy what you're enjoying, to have that buzz, you know, to feel grumpy if you don't get out for that walk or run, whichever it might be. And it's all very welcoming, as you can hear from the two gents here. Go on to Letterkenny AC Fit for Life programme. I would search that on the socials there, and you'll see the link to register your interest. Is that essential, or are you just trying to get a sense of numbers down?
It's not essential. It's really just to get a sense of numbers for the first night. Yeah. So
all right, but I think
properly.
You can start emotionally committing now by registering, and then you've got that wee target. All right, listen, I'm envious of you, so I'd love to be where you're at, and hopefully I will at some point. I can, yeah, and I know it would fix an awful lot of what's wrong with me too, so it's definitely something I'm going to try and get involved in. Raymond Birch, Chair of Letterkenny Athletics Club, thanks very much for calling in.
Thanks very much,
and
Greg.
I really appreciate it. Darren Price, yours is a great story as well, of course, Darren, member of Letterkenny Athletics Club. Mad to see new members as well. We really appreciate you calling in.
Brilliant.
Again, go to Letterkenny AC Fit for Life, search that on social media, and you can register your interest there. You're setting your targets for Monday, April 17th at 5:45, just after Easter. Why not? You're going to have loads of people there to support you as coaches, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, they want to see you there. All right, Darren, Raymond, thank you. Back after the break.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today. Every Tuesday morning on Highland Radio, we'll be joining Colm and Sophie for Clarsacar as we catch up with them for some Canchugus crack on the way to school. Next time, Colm and Sophie will be chatting about a talent show.
Agus bei Jessica for couple of Fakala Usage Freshing, so Biggie Lane, Mudging Jamarch, and Shaw or Highland Radio.
The naughty alarm clock. Highland Radio.
Arna Winu, ag Udras Krelahain the Heron, na Chantalia Cadinis Telefisha.
If you don't like waiting, then the new Citroën C5 Aircross SUV is the car for you. That's because the C5 Aircross is available now, so you really won't have to wait at all. And ironically, with its advanced comfort technology, best-in-class boot space, amazing finance offers and 5-year warranty, it would definitely be worth waiting for, if you had to wait. Which you don't.
The new Citroën C5 Aircross SUV is in stock now at Highland Motors, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
Banking can make you feel a bit. So why not switch to a provider that helps you take control of your finances? The OnPost Money Current Account lets you see exactly what's going on with your money and gives you control with the tap of a button. Switch with the OnPost Money app or pop into one of our 900 plus post offices. You don't even need to make an appointment. Take back power over your money today. OnPost is authorised by the Minister for Finance to provide payment services and is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland in the provision of such services.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
The time's 22 minutes past 11. Obviously, as you would have heard if you've been listening since the start of the show, that we were speaking to the principal and parents from Gaelscoil na Cahamaistra. Now, they've been working out of prefabs for 24 years. They're on the brink of getting a new school building. The contract is ready to go, but it's one of the nearly 60 school projects that has been stalled by the Department of Education. There's no need in this case. It's ready to go at the original price as far as we understand, or that's been sorted at this point. The diggers are ready to roll onto site. The tender expires, though, in 2 days. Deputy Joe McHugh, we contacted him because he was former Minister for Education. He committed also to make representations. He said he wanted to let listeners know that he's awaiting a call back from the finance unit in the Department of Education, and his office will keep us directly in the loop when he hears back. Okay, that cannot be let slide, can it? We tried to get a conversation with the project manager on the 4-lane project in Letterkenny in relation to the Port Bridge Road being flooded this morning, causing traffic delays. We wanted to know why, how did it happen, what work was ongoing at the time, what was the situation as it relates to the flood prevention measures, shuttering being taken out, piles being put in, whatever it might be, what's being done to ensure it won't happen again. But anyway, thank you, we got the reply back, for your query in relation to the N56 4-lane road improvement scheme in Letterkenny. However, we're not permitted to publicly comment on this project or press queries in relation to the N56 4-lane road safety improvement scheme should be directed through to the Donegal County Council office email, which I won't read out to you. Right, so we tried to get answers just so that everyone knows what is going on. I see they're planting trees up the middle of it. It'll be interesting to see if they shed much in the winter and what impact that might have. Anyway, Jim is joining us now. Jim, what's going on, Jim?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay, doing good. Right, okay. You, what's your comments on the 4-lane project?
I would like to know how much longer the taxpayers of this county are going to put up with what's happening along the Port Road. They're working on that road now for over 55 years. And it was a 4-lane of traffic then. And it's still the same, only it has got a lot more dangers since.
How has it got more dangerous?
Well, that thing they have in the middle of the road is a disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it being dangers, they're planting a hedge now in it. What happens whenever that hedge needs trimming? The road's going to have to be closed again.
It looks like trees they're planting. That's quite...
They're planting a hedge as well.
Is it? Right, okay.
Both are going on, and I think it's ridiculous what they're doing.
Now, I imagine, Jim, the centre, we thought it was a barrier, but it's not really a barrier. It's like a construction, and the lanes are quite narrow. That is the modern way to slow traffic down, narrow the lanes. Maybe that is by design, not accident.
And what do they widen the road for? They widened the road. What did they do that for?
To make way for the centre?
The bit they have in the middle of the road, why not have used that as a footpath if they wanted to make the lanes of traffic narrower?
You predicted the flooding that we saw this morning.
I did indeed. Now, since they started piling it along there, and I know that along there very well because I would even remember emptying a boat at that particular spot.
Wow. Okay.
With coal, there were coal on it.
Now, there is at least, I saw some of it on the way this morning, a bund, which is really effectively just a pile of dirt to keep the water back. The water never really come over that before. Is it still there? Was it removed?
The water did come over there before. I would remember the River Swilly being flooded on a regular basis until the late Neil Blaney got it banked. And
that's the bund we're talking of. The bund and the bank is the same thing.
Well, it was done from New Mills to the other side of Manor-Cunningham, and it has caught a lot less than what it has done this work on the Port Road.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's ridiculous what they're doing.
Well, we can't ask the questions, but I mean, removing shuttering, putting in piles in that area with high tides predicted and rain inevitable, the timing was a wee bit strange to me. But as I say, I don't know. I'm not a roads engineer and we don't have access to the lead on that project to sort of ask these questions. But we just want to make sure it doesn't happen again, Jim.
Well, I know I'm not a road engineer. And I know you're not a road engineer, but I'll guarantee you would know more than the boys that's on it at the present time.
Oh, well, now, let's be fair, Jim. I know that's your personal opinion.
I have no hesitation in saying that whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's a disgrace.
Okay.
And
but come here.
It's supposed to be done in so many months, and now they're at it for years, and it's gone on. And I was married, me and the wife, in 1968.
Mm-hmm.
And we were held up. I was held up on my way into the wedding where they were working on the road.
Come here, Jim. That's a brilliant story. Hold on a second. That's a brilliant story. So, don't go anywhere, Jim. I'm not finished with on this one. Right. So, on the 4 lanes in 1968.
Yes.
Right. On the 4 lanes in 1968, You were delayed getting to marry your beautiful wife. You were delayed in getting to the wedding because you were stuck
Correct,
in roadworks on the 4 lanes.
Yeah, and I remember, and it was, as we would call it, Griffins, and most people will know where Griffins was. That's where they were working along there. And the gentleman that was driving me, S.G. Russell from Dromore, which is still alive, and I was starting to panic, and he told, "Don't be worrying, Jim, you'll be time enough."
But sure, come here, they're nearly finished now. They nearly finished.
What's nearly finished?
The road's nearly finished.
No, the way they're going, it'll not be finished in my day anyway.
Right, then really it kind of feels like the deck chair's being moved around on the Titanic. It seems like an awful big project to provide a nice cycle lane and walking path. A lot of people feel that way, but maybe we're not looking at the bigger picture. The town of Letterkenny with the beautiful hedgerow, the trees. Close your eyes and look at this. You're coming off the roundabout, right? You're driving into Letterkenny and you see this beautiful hedge up the middle of the road, these lovely trees, not shedding any leaves onto the road or nothing, so there's no problems there. And the town looks beautiful as you head into Letterkenny and on to the west and north.
What will you see whenever they start trimming that hedge?
Lovely trimmings, I don't know. Right, okay, I get you.
See just what's happening today.
I'm not going to convince you. Right, okay. But in fairness, the guys that do that work and they do the work on the roundabouts, you don't often see them at it. They're in and out and they're very professional, and I'm sure they'll manage that side of works. But I do understand where you're coming from, and I just hope, and particularly with the crossing, I think that's going in at the hotel there, I just hope that this is... if it does save crashes, then all well and good. Regards 4 lanes, says listener. What about when the tree roots start lifting the road? I was a bit curious about that, Jim. We know you're not a roads engineer. Are you a horticulturist? Where those trees and that hedge, the roots won't go down through and disrupt the road, will it?
That will certainly affect the road. Whenever them trees, you go on there, they had trees planted on the right-hand side as you go on.
Yes.
Why did they cut most of them down?
Widened the road, was it?
No, not as they had nothing to do with the road.
I don't know. Okay.
They were well back off the road. That didn't interfere with what they're doing along the road at all. They cut over 90% of them down. There are only a few of them left, and now they have more planted.
Well, Jim, you believe the bridge is the solution here, and you said earlier on, and I hope you do, that you might not live to see the 4 lanes finished. I certainly don't think any of us are going to live to see the bridge put in.
Well, I hope we do, because that is... Now, you know the road as well as I know it. You go on there, and at least 70% of the traffic going on is turning right at the Port Bridge.
Yep.
Why not have them turned off before they go on the Port Road at all? Because everyone knows that they're not going on to Letterkenny. They're heading to Remelton, Fanet, you name it. It's unbelievable what they're doing.
It would make so much sense what you're saying. It would just alleviate so many of the problems that we encounter on a daily basis. Because, you know what, I mean, often we talk about that access to Letterkenny, but you're quite rightly pointing out that you could be going to Carragart, you could be going to Dunlow, you could be going to Burton Port. You know, there's lots of places that you need to go up that road to access. Yeah, all right, okay. Jim, listen, it's been lovely speaking to you. Yes, go ahead.
If you don't mind 1 second.
Go ahead, Jim. It's all the time in the world.
They're talking about the bridge, the amount of money that it's going to cost.
Yes.
The Port Bridge, as we would know it, and the bridge a wee bit further out here towards the roundabout, them both bridges were widened back in 66, 67.
Yes.
And it only took weeks to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the bridge is not, and the new bridge or the extension to the bridge came in on a boat to the Port Bridge, and I was one of the ones that helped to take it off.
Wow.
And it's a brilliant bridge, and it'll be there for generations. Why can they not do the like that a wee bit further out this valley and get the traffic away from the Port Bridge?
Yeah, and you were able to do that in the 60s. You know, things have improved in terms
of... That was in the mid-60s.
Yeah, although we say things have improved, have they? Look at how quickly they did that work you talk of and how they managed to get the bridge up and do it. I mean, I'd love to see some pictures of that.
And do it in a very short time, too.
Yeah, that's it, the quick turnaround. Just around the time you were popping the question.
Oh, it was her pop the question.
Get out. No, come here. Are you having a laugh? Was it?
No, I think it's too bad that that road has been done the way it's done.
All right.
I think it's a wild waste of Irish taxpayers' money.
All right. Jim, can I say it's been lovely speaking to you? It really has.
Good luck to you guys, and thank you very much for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on and speaking quite a lot of sense in there, Jim. Fair play to you. Lovely to chat to you. I came in through the 4-lane road 2 weeks ago and there was a small lorry in front and a small lorry to my left and they couldn't pass one another. How is this road supposed to work if larger vehicles can't pass each other? We've had similar. It's different because it's a 2-lane road out. The work they were doing at Capri. Just outside Ballabafay on the Donegal Road there. You know that I'm sure many of you know where I'm talking about. And it is incredibly narrow. And at that time we talked to lorry drivers and there was not an awful lot of space if 2 lorries met at that section. But the idea is that you do it once or you're approaching it and you see how narrow it is and everyone slows down. It's a traffic calming measure, and I imagine that's the logic, whether you agree with it or I agree with it or not. That's the logic in the width of the road there. Presumably there is a width that will accommodate 2 vehicles, 2 large vehicles, but everyone slows down because it's a little bit narrow. If anyone has any insight that disproves that, more than happy to hear it on 086 60 20 5000. This is your show, remember, by the way. This is the Northwest show here. We talk about what you want to talk about. We love to hear from people like Jim and all of you who text in on WhatsApp. It's not my show. It's not Highland Show. It's your show. 086 60 20 5000. WhatsApps and text that number. Give us a call on 074 91 20 5000. And we try and work for you. As you heard, getting answers as it relates to NowDoc services, trying to sort out other issues that people might have. Lots of it on air, most of it perhaps sorted off air as well too. So don't be afraid to get in touch with us and use our services.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
The government is planning to make changes to the Temporary Business Energy Support Scheme to help more businesses with rising energy costs. Until these changes take effect in the coming weeks, claims can continue to be made under the current scheme. If your business has been impacted by significant gas or electricity price increases and you haven't already registered with revenue.ie, now is the time to do so. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Check out these special offers at Simpson's Supermarket, Letterkenny. There's Neil's Soda Bread Flour, 3 kg, €2. Cheerios 700 gram, €2. There's 2-pack of McVitie's Digestives, €2. There's Coke 2-pack, 3 litre, €4. And Gentile Toilet Roll 24-pack, only €6.50. Plus lots of great offers in store for Easter. While there, check out Peggy's Kitchen Cafe for great food, tea and coffee. Only 2 minutes from Letterkenny Hospital. Simpson's Supermarket, for great value every day.
Watson Hire in Letterkenny are looking for an experienced mechanic to join their busy workshop team. Experience working with plant and machinery is required. Also a full driving licence and a good knowledge of electrics, hydraulics and diesel engines. A competitive salary package is available for the successful candidate. Email a CV to jwatson@watsonhire.ie.
Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at The Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system, and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
Evolve Clothing Superstore. 2 floors of men's essential styles and fashion in casual wear, streetwear, formal wear and suiting. Plus over 200 styles of footwear. Evolve Clothing, Letterkenny Retail Park, or online at evolveclothing.com.
Business Matters in association with the ATU Donegal Faculty of Business. Are you a senior manager in the private sector looking to reinforce your leadership skills? ATU are offering a Level 9 Executive MBS in Leadership and Innovation based around action learning starting late April. Take the next step in your career and contact the Exec Ed Coordinator on 9186206 today or email donald.hannigan@atu.ie.
Okay, that means we welcome into studio Kieran O'Donnell as we preview the Business Matters podcast. Good morning to you, Kieran.
Good morning, Greg. How are
Thank
you?
you so much for joining us. I'm doing good, and you and yours?
I'm good. Will we be seeing you come down to the track for the Fit for Life?
You know, I think if I lived around Letterkenny, I'd be very tempted to.
You talked about your carbon footprint. You could stay in Letterkenny and not drive over and back, and you fit on the schedule.
See, I subscribe to the Eamon Ryan approach.
You can cycle home.
I can use it to suit myself.
You can cycle home. That's a good idea.
I'm very worried about it when it suits me, and then I'm not so worried about it when it doesn't suit me. Is that?
I'm confident anyway. I'm confident you'll show.
All right, come here. We'll talk about that a little later on. As we get closer to April 17th, wasn't it? It was,
yeah. 17th.
All right, let's stick with business for now, though we rarely do. Donegal Tourism Seminar taking place. Is this for the 2023 season?
Correct. Emerging trends and opportunities, Greg, as you say, is the theme for this year's tourism seminar, and it's taking place in the Mount Erica Hotel in Letterkenny on Thursday, March the 30th. The event is being run by Donegal County Council, and MC for the event will be Chef Brian McDermott. Registration is €20. That will include lunch, and check out the council's web or social media platform, for more details on that.
All right, Randox actively hiring and encouraging. I'm hearing the ads. What's going on?
Yeah, Randox, Charlotte and Dunlow are holding a careers open evening on Saturday, April the 8th from 9:30am to 12:30pm. So people are being invited to come along, discuss job opportunities directly with the staff, get a first-hand account of the job and see the company's state-of-the-art facilities. The company is recruiting for various roles in engineering, manufacturing, administration and science.
And dependent on the skill set, there might be some people listening that maybe their loved ones or friends who have moved away down the country or abroad may have opportunities to return and live at home, work for a great company and have that lovely work-life balance that I believe, and not everyone will agree, that our beautiful region affords us, Kieran.
Yeah, exactly. And there are two options. People can drop a CV in physically, or they can upload their CV and send it on, and check out Randox social media platforms for more details on that as well, Greg.
All right, significant property in Burt on the market now.
Yeah, the old parochial house in Burt has been placed on the market with an asking
I'm
price.
going to take that pen off you, and I won't tell you where I'm going to shove it.
€650,000. The 8-bedroom house sits on around 1.1 acres. The house originally was built around 1853 with stone walls and was refurbished and extended on either wing back in 2017. So the sale is being handled by Daft.ie.
I must have a look at that, Kieran. It sounds like it's a beautiful building.
It does.
Yeah.
If you had the money now,
yeah,
that would be nice.
I know. Well, I don't have the money, but I can certainly have a nose. I don't think if we club together, we'd even get the deposit together.
We'd buy one of the stables, maybe.
I don't know, but you'd be doing the heavy lifting on that one, Kieran. Right, okay. Hannah Hats, synonymous with Donegal Town and the county, of course. New premises.
Yeah, Hannah Hats in Donegal Town has opened a new shop at its premises on Sheer Street. Hannah Hats have acknowledged the support they've received from Fallach Ireland, JK Consulting and DDC Fit Out and Design for the project. Hannah Hats will be 100 years in business in 2024 and is run by General Manager Eleanor Hannah, who is part of a third generation carrying on the famous name. We would have had Eleanor on the programme, Greg, about a year and a half ago, and it's great to see them develop, and that's a big bonus and a big plus for them going forward into the start of the tour season.
Yeah, for sure. And they did a big piece of work in continuing, growing, following the very sad passing of John Hannah, I think it is. I'll double correct, that's what my memory is, but they've done an amazing job in doing so. Right, okay. They're doing everything they can to try and avoid any problems with queues at Dublin Airport.
Very much. Donegal Airport staff are being offered bonuses.
Dublin Airport staff.
Yeah.
Don't want to get anyone in Donegal's hopes up.
Well, up to €2,000 if they work overtime at security desks amid growing fears of a repeat of the lengthy queues with this last year. The Business Post has learned. It is being reported that DA has set up a task force to tackle the problem in recent weeks and is asking both frontline and non-frontline staff to work additional hours on security desks in the coming weeks. So obviously they sense that there's trouble ahead, so they're trying to sort of head it off at the pass.
Yeah, well, at least they're digging into their pockets and paying people to fix the problem rather than relying on the army to do so. Right, okay, that's a bit of news. Thanks very much for that, Kieran. Let's talk about this week's podcast then.
Yeah, this week, Greg, I'm joined by the owner of O'Donnell's Bakery in Lahey, Andrew McElhenney, and Donegal ETB's Further Education and Training Services Course Recruitment Officer, Tara Maguire. On Christmas Eve, back in 2010, O'Donnell's Bakery, which was established in 1969, closed down, and within a month, Andrew McElhenney, who had been a bread agent for the previous 5 years, bought the Lahey-based business along with his wife Kathleen. 12 years on, Greg, it's very much a family affair, with his daughters Sarah Ann and Lynn also working full-time in the business. In this clip, Andrew talks about the invaluable help he got from Donegal Local Enterprise Office.
I would be asked by the Enterprise Office at times to do talks to different businesses. Without the Enterprise Office, I wouldn't be here. That the help that they gave me back in 2011, I have no qualms in saying I would not be here without their help. And I say down through the years, some of the mentoring that they give me, people that put me in contact with. If I can name names, Michael Tunney and Ursula Donnelly, they were unbelievable support. And now, as I say, give me a clip around the ear whenever I needed it too. But no, definitely, if any business out there that wants information or wants a wee bit of support, definitely contact the local Lego.
Yeah, that's quite an endorsement for the Donegal Local Enterprise Office, isn't it, Kieran? And an amazing business in a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. Well,
did you have to have your passport in date to travel so far south?
Well,
as being
I mentioned your name and I got through the checkpoint. Okay.
Okay. No problem with the return flight, no?
No comment.
Okay. Right, who else is on the show? Tara Maguire.
I also spoke to Donegal ETB's Further Education and Training Services Court Recruitment Officer, Tara Maguire, about the latest traineeships. Here, Tara talks about Donegal ETB's ability to change and adapt to meet the needs of the various sectors and businesses locally.
I suppose it's a fact that Donegal ETB are very proud of, that we do have the ability to change and meet the needs of our local community and the economy here locally as well. We're constantly looking at being innovative and creative, working with the industry and our other partners to develop, I suppose, up-to-date qualifications, making sure that we're delivering everything that employers need and want, and what our students, we want to make sure that we're giving them the best possible outcomes that we can.
All right, so the full interviews with Andrew McElhenney and Tara Maguire are available now to stream on our website, highlandradio.com. You can also listen to them on Spotify and iTunes. Don't forget to subscribe as well so you get updates when new episodes drop, which is every Wednesday, because this week's episode is available for you right now. And if you're involved in business, have an interest in business, how business works, or just the people behind the business, then you don't want to miss out on the podcasts that are broadcast or available to you every Wednesday. And there's a really big back catalogue of just the brightest brains in business in our region available for you there. And also lots of people tune to listen to it as a scheduled programme. It's broadcast on Sunday, Kieran, isn't it?
After the 6 o'clock news, Greg, on Sunday evening.
And if anyone wants to get in touch with you,
just drop me an email, please. businessmatters@highlandradio.com.
Or a letter, because I did see a letter delivered care of Business Matters.
So fingers crossed to see what's on it.
Exactly. I'd get it checked first. No, I'm only joking. So in other words, if you want to send a letter in too, feel free to do so. Business Matters, Highland Radio, Mountaintop, Letterkenny. But the direct access, of course, there is businessmatters@highlandradio.com. Kieran, as always, thank you so very much indeed. Well done on putting together another brilliant podcast. People can listen to it right now or wait till Sunday evening. It's up to them. And as I say, there's a great back catalogue there as well. And we'll chat to you, all being well, next Wednesday, Kieran.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks very much.
Thank you so very much for that. Kieran O'Donnell there. We'll be back with more after the break.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from 40,000 to 600,000 euro with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Stop Highland Radio are going to Scotland from Monday the 1st of May to Thursday the 4th of May with the very best of music, and we would love for you to join us. Staying at the 4-star Crown Plaza Hotel in Glasgow, we are bringing with us some of the biggest country stars, including myself, David James, Declan Ernie and Robert Mazzell, to name a few. You will enjoy luxury travel to Glasgow, 3 nights dinner, bed and breakfast with music and entertainment each evening. Join us on the Highland Fling to Glasgow this May for only €575 per person. To book, call Highland Radio today on 074 91 25,000. Early booking is advisable. Single supplement applies.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why. The Lotto jackpot is a guaranteed €2 million. Play responsibly in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. It could be you.
Breedon's Furniture, Cooley-Maville. With over 40 years of experience in furniture and floor coverings, they've got Irish-made furniture, suites, beds, mattresses, dining, flooring, slide robes and occasional furniture. Great prices and large selection now available at Breedon's Home Furnishers, Cooley-Maville.
Are you looking for a flexible, affordable home improvement loan? New kitchen, bathroom or bedroom? For whatever you're planning, B&S Credit Union's Renovate loan is ready to go. Loans from €5,000 to €70,000. Visit our website at bnscu.ie or free phone 1-800-290-390, where our dedicated and experienced loans team will be delighted to help you. Loans are subject to approval, terms and conditions apply. B&S Credit Union Limited is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Highland Radio weather updates with Ireland West Airport. From March 26th, Aer Lingus will operate a daily service to London Heathrow, providing onward connections to 80 plus destinations worldwide. Ireland West Airport. Don't just take off, take it easy.
Now, as we head into the afternoon, showers will become more frequent, merging to longer spells of rain at times. Some of the showers will be heavy with hail and lightning possible. Top temperatures 9 to 11 degrees in fresh and gusty south to southwest winds. Delighted to be able to welcome back onto the show Larry Donnelly, University of Galway law lecturer, political columnist with the journal.ie, so you can go on to journal.ie and read Larry's opinions and get a load of his knowledge. He joins us now. Good morning, Larry. Thanks for coming back on the show. Really appreciate it.
Good morning, Greg. Great to be with you.
Right, okay. Can you give us an insight into what's happening in America at the moment? Because we know that Donald Trump went onto his social media platform. He warned that he was likely to be arrested on Tuesday. Now, Tuesday has passed. And he called on people to protest his arrest. So what is he going to be arrested? How's that going to happen? And for what?
I suspect he will be arrested because things have moved to such an advanced stage now. The grand jury in Manhattan is reconvening this afternoon, and it's likely that they'll wrap up their proceedings, and it's likely that they'll recommend that the president be indicted. As to when he actually will be arrested, we don't know. It could be later this week. It could be early next week. How he will be arrested is another question. Trump himself has suggested that he would like to be handcuffed. He would like to make it a big scene because he says it's all trumped up charges anyway. His lawyers are cautioning against that and hoping that there will be some sort of negotiated surrender ultimately, which may involve a remote proceeding from his home in Florida. This all boils down, Greg, to hush money that was paid by Trump's then lawyer Michael Cohen to the porn star Stormy Daniels, so that she would stay quiet about an affair they had while Donald Trump was running for president in 2016. Now, the Manhattan District Attorney, and it's complicated, is intending to charge him under a state statute, but it's connected to what would amount to be a federal campaign violation. That is, the hush money paid by Michael Cohen to Stormy Daniels was then reimbursed to Michael Cohen by Donald Trump. It is a tangled web. In my view, it's something of a reach for a prosecution, but it looks like this district attorney is going to go ahead with it.
It's really interesting to see how this plays out, because nothing in this process as of now would stop him seeking the candidacy to run at president. I would imagine he would see him in handcuffs being led in through the front door as a fantastic campaign tool. Maybe not everyone would see it that way. How do you think it plays out for him?
Well, once again, Greg, at least the early polling data is confounding in some respects. And I should add, as an aside, Trump has even reported to have said that he wouldn't mind getting shot, that if he got shot, it would make sure that he would be elected in 2024. Now, in that vein, and despite what I had thought, the most recent polling conducted in the past 48 hours now reveals that Trump enjoys the support of 54% of likely Republican primary voters. And his likely rival, Ron DeSantis, is at his lowest ebb in the polls. And this all is taken place since everything has transpired in the past several days. So at one level, this does seem to be working for Trump, at least initially. Now, in my view, I still have a strong suspicion that in the context of this investigation and all of the other investigations swirling around this guy, that Republicans are going to start to say, we like Trump, we love to see him back in the White House, but he can't do it. Now, we'll see how that plays out. But at least initially, Trump's resilience is astounding.
Yeah, but they'll also have to listen to sort of the general voters, the population out there, and anything that is put to Trump at this point is sort of the system trying to put him down. And I can only see an upside to this unless something... I mean, look at what everybody already knows, all that's out there. It would have seemed unimaginable for me to have this conversation with you 8 years ago if I were to pluck this character out and, you know, talk of what he's said, his background, what he's done, and for him to have over 50% of an approval rating amongst Republicans. It would have seemed impossible. He rewrites what is possible and impossible all the time, it seems.
Absolutely. And this is Trump's biggest political asset. We've talked about this before, Greg. Donald Trump plays the game by different rules to everybody else. All of the other preconditions, all of the other, I suppose, traditions, all the other things that are, you know, facts about American politics, none of them apply to Donald Trump. He does whatever he damn well pleases. And, you know, let's look at it this way. Donald Trump's support among evangelicals remains astonishingly high, even as he's as much as admitted paying money to a porn star to cover up an affair that they had. So, look, in some ways, this guy is untouchable. But again, Greg, the reality is this. He would have to win the general election. He'd have to win over a cadre of American voters in the middle who, in my view, have had enough of the circus. He can win the Republican nomination, absolutely, but I think it would have negative impact on their chances of winning the presidency and all the way down the ballot as well.
Now, I mean, obviously, when we talk about American politics now, it's different. We're talking about personalities. We're talking about otherworldly stuff. You know, we're talking about a person who was on The Apprentice, who allegedly had an affair with a porn star, who paid them off, who has said all manner of things, who's been banned from social media platforms, set up his own. And we're not talking about, you know, what puts bread and food on people's plates, access to healthcare and all that kind of stuff. Is that just us externally and we're going at the headlines? Or is the discussion about politics actually changed within the United States as well? Because it needs... We all thought there'd be a reset with Biden. It hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. Frankly, this idea of politics being just another form of entertainment has certainly taken hold in the United States. And it needs to be said that the American media has aided and abetted this cheapening of discourse, this cheapening of what I still believe to be a noble profession. And if you look at some of the issues, if you look at some of the accomplishments of the Biden administration, and however you see politics, there have been things that Biden has done that have improved the lives of lots of American people. Yet, that doesn't seem to penetrate. It doesn't seem to matter. His opinion rate, the polling on his favorability is still quite low, and discourse is dominated not by differences of ideology, et cetera. Discourse is instead dominated by all of the circus-like atmosphere around Donald Trump, and you only need to see what the public's appetite is for. Look at the hits, look at the viewership, et cetera. People want more and more of the Trump circus. They don't want to seem to discuss the issues, and that's really sad.
Yeah, and lazy. All right, thanks as always. I really do appreciate your time. That is Larry Donnelly. He is Larry Donnelly, I should say. He is a University of Galway law lecturer and a columnist too with the Journal .ie, and you can hear, obviously, him on this programme from time to time as well. All right, listen, thank you very much for all of you who listen to the show, for those of you who watch the show, for those of you who text and called in. We really appreciate it. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m, but that's where we have to leave it for this Thursday. Thanks to Caroline O, who researched and produced the show, and Anya Sweeney, who worked on the show as well. It's very much appreciated. Stay right where you are. We've got the news headlines coming up for you at 12, and after that we've loads of great music, chat, conversation with John Breslin around the Northwest. Have a lovely day, everyone.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit